My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room. Wow!
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4069. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, the Men's Room shout of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
Drinking and drunk. All right, here we go. Delaware, of all places, is going to offer deli-style marijuana stores. Meanwhile, a Bay Area Leap Day baby celebrates a birthday, which is much older than yours. Turns out it's a real good idea to have a parachute on your plane. If you wield machetes in a grocery store, we know that you are insane. And 2 men try to steal $200 in paper towels, and now they have a bounty. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. Or maybe you've heard, maybe you have not, but the nightclub Supernova Seattle will become the first strip club in Washington State to actually serve alcohol. Now, I'm not a strip club kind of guy, but it seems long overdue. And as for my time in strip clubs, it's mostly, although not entirely, limited to bachelor parties. And like most people who've been to a bachelor or bachelorette party, I've got stories, some of which I can actually share. But on that note, people took to Reddit to share the craziest things they've seen at a bachelor or bachelorette party. And it runs the gamut from a fist fight between 2 different bachelorette parties to a man who unknowingly ate a carrot that had very recently been inserted into the anus of a friend, all the way down to the stripper who had explosive diarrhea while doing a pole dance. Anyway, while these pre-wedding parties are almost always memorable, it's not always because of debauchery. I mean, most of the time it is, but how about a bachelor party in Minnesota? It was made memorable because These dudes ended up saving a dog that was trapped neck deep in the mud on a riverbank. Probably not what they had planned. I'm sure that their significant others probably didn't even believe them. But that was their bachelor party. But today, that's what we're talking about. Not saving dogs, but bachelor and bachelorette parties. And that's what our question is. What is the wildest thing you've witnessed at a bachelor or bachelorette party?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, but Charles, where we go? Welcome to season 19, episode number 4069. What a large and charged program we got for you today. Yeah. Guaranteed future repeats. The exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find people doing bad things in the news each and every week.
It's not easy.
And you bring us three of these stories. It's up to us to determine out of the three which one sucks the least. How are we looking this week?
Again, not the worst people in the world, but they're still bad.
Are you sure about that?
All right, well, there's two ladies. Yeah, they're pretty bad.
I am severely disappointed in these people.
These two guys are very bad. Even the guy who I think sucks the least is still, they're, you know what, they're pieces of trash.
Right.
These are terrible.
Like, hey,
people.
they
You're
didn't
right.
drown puppies, but they're, right. I wouldn't call them, not the worst people.
It's called Who Sucks Less for a reason. That is a fact. What else? We have only a few days away from stop number 1, 2024, the Men's Room World Tour. That will happen this Friday from 2 till 6 at the Black Raven Brewery and Tap House in Woodinville. Step on by, taste the brand new Men's Room IPA. Tasty and delicious. If you're looking forward to the stores, look for the bright yellow can. It will be on tap at the brewery in Woodinville at Black Raven. And we'll be doing our show live from 2 till 6. As always, it's absolutely free to get in. Stop by, grab yourself an IPA, a couple other beers. Weather looking pretty good for a Friday afternoon. Skip out of work a little bit early and join us, be a part of the show as we celebrate the launch of Men's Room IPA. I believe they're going to have some of the T-shirts there, too.
I know they put in an order for a massive amount, so that if you want to pick up a shirt, they'll have them there.
We have them in the rock shop at KISW.com. I have no idea how long it takes from the order process for you to get that in the mail. None, but I know if you show up in Woodinville, you can just grab one and
they'll give it to you.
And take it home with you. So there you go. Well, you might have to pay for it.
You probably have to pay for it.
Yeah, but either way.
I can't guarantee that, but I think they'll probably ask you to do that.
Ask you to make a small donation as a portion of the proceeds from Men's Room IPA. Go to our friends at the Fisher House. And so again, that's this Friday, 2 to 6. Hopefully you can stop by and have a nice cold IPA. They are fantastic. So far, the emails have come in, and if you do happen to spot the beer out there, just shoot us an email to the men's room at KISW.com, and we'll get those locations out there on Facebook and everything else. So if you're in that area, you'll know where to stop by and pick it up. Okay, speaking of drinking, today on The Question, we get this news. Who knows how this is actually going to shake down? Because, as always, you hear these stories, and then sometimes it might take a little time to figure out exactly what's going on. But a Seattle nightclub announced on Monday that it will become the first strip club in Washington state to serve alcohol after the Liquor and Cannabis Board suspended its regulations on alcohol.
All right.
Place is called Supernova Seattle. I'm not really familiar with it. It's on Horton Street in the SoDo area. And it'll transform into, quote, an Atlanta-style club with a nonstop bumping party.
Oh, hey, that's what we've been looking for.
The nightclub's pivot comes after the Liquor Control Board moved to suspend regulations for businesses that distribute alcohol and its lewd conduct rule. All liquor licenses, they will need to be renewed by current holders. The licenses have its own criteria that businesses must meet before they can operate as a fully fledged strip club that serves alcohol. That's according to the LCB. Now, the recent changes have been part of a statewide push to reform the industry and the legislative session. House passed an amended version of what is called the Strippers Bill of Rights, 5836. The Senate signed off on legislation on March the 7th. The latest version of the bill is awaiting Governor Inslee's approval before it becomes law in Washington state. Now, that bill includes requirements such as new safety training for all dancers and employees on sexual harassment, human trafficking, installation of panic buttons in private dance rooms, and added security. As far as each club, among some of the other changes. Legislation will also require all adult entertainment venues to have written procedures for dealing with or ejecting violent or intoxicated customers.
You know, Ted made a good point the other day. We were talking about this. He said, look, when you tell people either bring your own booze or they go out and pregame, they typically show up hammered. Right? I would think you're in a more dangerous situation. If I roll into a strip club that does not serve alcohol, I will be smashed when I'm walking in, as a guarantee. Correct. If I go to a strip club, you serve alcohol, I will start there. You know, you can kick me out if I get hammered, but otherwise you show up hammered. I would think this is a much safer environment.
Right, and for the girls dancing, too, it's like, like when I go to Portland, like, I love going to a strip club. I don't always get dances. Sometimes you just spend money on the rail or buy a drink. Like, it's just nice to have a drink and see some boobs.
And, you know, there's always going to be somebody in the party who wants to go and get a beer.
Of course.
So if you roll in 5 or 6 deep, which typically, I mean, I have never been the guy who walked into a strip club by myself.
Oh, really? Sure.
I've never been that guy.
Sure, Miles.
Honest to God. I've never thought to myself, hey, I have a night off tonight. What do I want to do? I'm going to go sit at the strip club by myself. It's typically a group of people, and there's an agenda for the night.
Yeah.
But if you have a few drinks, like, all right, well, let's just hang out a half an hour, 45 minutes later.
Dude, I have gone to a strip club in this city. There's one I like, the bar that's attached to it. And I literally went down there by myself one evening, started BSing with the bartender. I never went in the damn strip club.
Right.
Because it was like, this bar is pretty cool. It's a good sports bar.
The bill seeks to repeal a current law prohibiting adult entertainment establishments from having liquor licenses at venues with full or partial nudity. Washington, by the way, is the only state in the country that does not allow alcohol to be sold in strip clubs.
Really?
How many strip clubs are there in the state of Washington?
Hang on.
You got to bring
17
Spokane into the. Hold on. I'm going to say 31.
11.
11?
11.
That's probably because you can't serve alcohol.
You can't make money if you do not serve alcohol.
Right.
It does not matter if you're a restaurant. It doesn't. If you are one of the establishments where there's an expectation that alcohol will be sold, you're not going to do that great. You could be the bowling alley that is absolutely dry. You could be the bowling alley that serves pitchers of beer. Guess where people are going to go bowl?
Without a doubt. Every time.
And look, and the bowling alley makes money that way. Everybody who serves alcohol makes money. I'm not going to tell that story. But.
Was I involved?
No, I told you yesterday. I have a buddy that's.
Oh, yeah. I
have a buddy that's looking to open a bar. Now, he looked at an existing place that someone he knows in the industry used to have a bar there. That person is getting out of his lease, and he is moving. I believe he's looking at a bar in West Seattle, or he's going to try to open a bar in West Seattle.
And you would think, based on this location, that this would be a lucrative place.
Apparently, the room is fantastic. It's already set up to be a restaurant bar. The kitchen is already done. But this is, I'll tell you off the air, Ted. You'll understand the gist of it. But either way, the problem was that based on where this bar was located, he could not get any regular customers.
Right.
And so he told my buddy that. He's like, the reason I'm moving, man, don't take that lease. Is
not
because,
for a bar.
Is because, look, you can be straight up restaurant and you have great food. But the bottom line is we could not make any money off alcohol sales. Full rail bar, everything that we needed. We just couldn't get the clientele to come in and drink.
In spite of this heavily populated location.
Right. And it was all based on just different cultures and, different habits when you go out and you have beverages. This was not a good drinking area. So he was ready to pull the trigger on it, and he's going to look elsewhere now based on the fact that you need the alcohol in there to make money.
I mean, most restaurants will tell you that, man. It's like your food costs. You're always battling with your food costs, with what are we going to price this on the menu? How much does it cost to get it from the purveyors, all this kind of. The booze, it was easy. Like, mark it up 400%, no questions asked.
Yeah. Well, even if you're sitting in a restaurant, right, like watching like a Sounders game years ago, I don't know what was going on, but it's me and 3 other buddies, but just nobody's drinking. But the place is packed because it's during a Sounders game. So finally the waiter comes over. He's like, I'll just get you a pitcher of soda water. But I made a point to be like, we're going to sit at your table for 2.5. We will tip you extra, right? Because we're not drinking. So that cuts into that waiter's
the bottom
money.
line, man.
And if you're at any restaurant and you're sitting around, honestly, if you're not sitting there having a drink, you got to tip extra because that waiter needs to flip that table.
Yeah. The whole idea behind tailgating started by the fact that,
you couldn't drink inside the college stadium.
Not necessarily a pro thing. It's a college thing.
Right.
And then the colleges went, hey, think of all the revenue that we are not getting because people are basically BYOB in the parking lots and doing their thing and a lot of, and then when they canceled the rule about could you leave the stadium at halftime or come back in, or some colleges allow that, some don't. So people would get real tuned up and then head into the game, and it's the same scenario as going into a strip club, as you would say, late at night when you're already hammered. It's like, I know I'm going to be sitting there for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and I'm not going to be able to get a beverage. So if I can't sneak it in, then I'm going to be totaled at noon by the time that I walk into Husky Stadium.
Told you, one of Ted's first big sports broadcast. We got the Ted Smith at the Maryland Terps football game. It is live on location. We're doing a sports show. Finally get to the point, I think it was halftime, I guess, when we reached out to you, whatever it was. And
something.
Ted is hammered, man. And we're like, well, that's fine. How's the game? Oh, man, I haven't even been in yet, right? And that's the thing, because he's drinking, and drinking's fun. In spite of the fact that,
it's tailgates Thursday night.
Right.
Just
I knew they were winning. The cannon kept going.
Yeah, that was his explanation on there. I'm pretty sure they're winning because I keep firing the cannon.
Now, if you listen to
Ted Smith, thank you.
If you talk to people from Portland and they are visiting Seattle, most of the time it's like, look, Coldplay was playing Climate Pledge, and they're not playing the Rose Garden or whatever the hell the name of their arena is called. It's always about an event. I went to see a Mariners game.
Yeah.
I went to see the Seahawks play football. I came to Seattle to get something that I could not get in Portland. Same holds true for people who go to Seattle.
Or go to Portland, yeah.
I don't care what anybody tells, any group of guys, any single thing. I went down for concert, whatever, had to go the weekend, blah, 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 blah. Did you go to the strip club? Well, hell yeah.
Of course.
I'm in Portland.
And they serve booze.
And Portland,
that's generally the sale,
They have the highest
alcohol
concentration of strip clubs per capita in the United States of America.
Which is crazy to me because you can just stand in downtown Portland and there's naked people everywhere.
But it's mostly dudes.
That is true.
Yeah, I haven't gone to a strip club every time I've been to Portland just because I had friends that moved down there. Mm-hmm. So I'd be with them and their kids. But if I go down by myself, I'm going to a strip club.
Yeah. It's part of the culture of just seemingly going to Portland for whatever reason. You go down there on business, you and a buddy are probably going to end up in a strip club. Or part of your crew is, whether you know it or not. Yeah. That's inevitable. So this club, they are going to debut a spring break beach party. They say March 22nd, and it's a sandbar disco party. The nightclub will have 3,000 pounds of sand imported for the event, and will only feature female entertainers, but there may be male entertainers there in the future. I don't know the manager of this place. I think it's very cool that you're going to bring in 3,000 pounds of sand.
You got to get rid of 3,000 pounds of sand, too.
But I'll also invite you this one theory. You do not need to bring sand to the beach. And once you put that alcohol in there, you could basically tear down all of the decor. You could just have an empty warehouse and have tubs of beer on the floor with a woman there selling them for $5. No one cares. I'm not saying you can't make it a fancy, Atlanta type club. Like, you don't need a gimmick. You got the gimmick.
We have beer and boobs. Done.
And booze.
Sales pitch. That's your entire sales pitch.
That was the one hookup. Nobody sat there and went, hey, man, if they just had a club with sand all over the floor.
Right. Then I'd be willing to look at topless women.
That's never been the issue. So, you can do all of that. You can be as a bubble party,
right,
whatever. I mean, obviously, club life is a lot different to the bar life that I'm used to.
But they're not going there for the club. You're going there for the boobs.
And I understand the appeal of that. Trust me. I mean,
but they're trying to make a club night that also has naked women. So it's not a strip club yet.
It's a club that also has.
We'll have, like naked go-go dancers.
Okay.
So that's why, you still want to have the beat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You ever been to a beach party? Like, they're actually pretty fun. Because you feel like you're at the beach.
Sure, yeah.
Or what are they, the foam parties or whatever? So, I mean, I get, it's like you're still trying to make it like that kind of crazy night.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And as far as bachelor party or bachelorette parties go, a lot of people will say, look, the girls did not do much. We just did this, this, and this. Well, some guys don't do a lot either. We went here, we did that, depending on the group. But there's the other half, which is, hey, we are going to go throw down. I'm going to get married. I'm going to be with this person for however long, and we're going to go and throw down. Now, our bachelor party, Steve, we went down because we were getting married about a month and a half apart.
Yeah.
Went down to Portland. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on the way down, we started doing drugs, if I'm not mistaken, on that trip.
We did drugs before we got on the train, but yes, we were actively getting stoned on our way down there.
We also almost got kicked off the train, if I remember that correctly.
That is correct.
And I believe it was because of you.
Yeah. I was cussing and my voice was loud. But the guy, too, he just said, look, man, and he was hot, but he came over.
He was real hot.
He's like, sir, you need to stop cussing. And I'm like, hey, my bad, bro. I didn't even realize I'm doing it. I know my voice carries, so, I'll quiet down. Because they're not messing around.
They slow the train down and let you off where you are. There's no station. They don't wait for the next stop.
Yeah.
They basically
will throw you
stop
off the train.
Damn train and say, get off the train. Here's your crap.
It would be the equivalent of you're on a flight, and the flight attendant walks up to you because you're being belligerent, puts a parachute on your ass. They open the door and just push you out. But hey, wherever you land is where you're at. You figure out the rest.
Right. We end up in downtown Portland. Get off the train. I remember you were hugging some random woman outside of the train station, and she was enjoying it.
I said, "You want a hug?" She was just an old, crumpled up lady. I was like, "Hey, man, you want a hug?" And what surprised me, she was like, "I sure do." So I'm like,
She enjoyed
"Okay."
it. Mm-hmm.
She really did, man. God, it was like holding a bag of bones. I do remember that vividly. She came in for the hug, and like I said, it's an old lady, man, and I wrapped my arms around her, and part of me was like, "Ew." I mean, you could feel her spine. You know what I mean? It was just.
Yep. So
this is weird,
actually,
man.
we had a.
Let me put it this way, Mike. The older women in my family, like my grandmothers on both sides, they did not get thin as they got older. So my experience of hugging people generations older than me was always, my hands can't even meet in the back, and there's just boobs all over me up front. This lady was the opposite of this. Just like, oh my God.
My two, there was a lot of different things that stood out from that weekend. A couple of them were at like 1 or 2 in the morning. A group of people were swimming in a fountain in downtown Portland.
Mm-hmm.
It was summertime. It wasn't real warm, but it was warm enough.
Yeah.
So I definitely remember that. I remember you guys attempting to go after Canadian geese.
That was a mistake.
That did not work out well.
No, because they're looking for a fight. And what's crazy is there had to be, maybe 200 of them. I don't know. But when one of them wants to kick your ass, they all do. So we're kind of messing with them. And like one of them turned around and started honking kind of aggressive. Me and Miggs are kind of chuckling about it. And then they all came at us, man. And before we set, like both of us are hauling ass back toward the hotel.
Now, strangely enough, we did end up wandering around town and just like, hey, let's go here. And we walked by, I believe it's the Oregon Sports Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it's everything from Nike track and field to,
Ahmad Rashad,
Chad Ocho Cinco, or Hushman Zada, or some of the more notable athletes.
Donegan Sue.
Yeah, Nada. Whoever was big and came out of the Portland, Oregon area, featured in this place. Danny Ainge. So we get in there, and we might have been still
We were tripping bees, man.
It was unbelievable. Like, we just floated into this. And it was like, museums are interesting. I do enjoy a good museum. This one was fascinating based on the fact that it was just about sports and just about Oregon.
Well, we also had to walk around because we were on the waterfront, and Thrill was just yelling at people right there. I was like, we got to go.
Yeah.
We're going to get thrown out of here.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah. But lo and behold,
right.
But lo and behold.
And we're still waiting for Castle and Hair Club.
Oh, yeah, they ain't got there yet.
The Oregon Sports Museum has a pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I have never seen anything like this in my life. So Steve Miggs, he decides he's going to get into the pop shot. And I don't know. I have seen people in the zone. I have seen people focus before playing athletics.
Keep in mind, he was tripping as well. He's real focused.
I have never seen anybody. He maybe missed one shot out of 50. It was thump, 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 thump.
But just the look on his face.
It was that ding.
Yeah.
Right. Mike, you got to understand, the three of us were playing ping pong. Okay. Right? Like, we're kind of rotating on the ping pong. And in the corner, you just hit this ding, 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 ding. And finally, we, look over, and he's like, Mix is almost like looking away. Like, I can't.
He couldn't.
And if I remember, I almost want to say there was like a dad and two kids behind him.
Waiting
like,
to.
You could take it, and then the guy was like, "Just keep shooting, dude."
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
You're the man.
It got to the point.
Again, this is like 2 p.m.
Yeah, right. Oh, this was not late at all.
I mean, all of our eyes are just. I don't even know how he saw the rim.
I don't think he did.
I'm not sure.
He could just feel it.
I think he may have been trying to miss and just couldn't.
It was one of the most amazing spectacles I've ever seen. And granted, there's going to be all kinds of bachelorette stories today, but that's one thing that I will never forget. Just like on fire.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. He just could not miss.
There's a few things I will never forget, but I will not share all of them.
Yes. Our question: what is the wildest thing that you witnessed at a bachelor or bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
yada yada.
And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Here's why April chose to vaccinate her child.
I think actually meeting someone who was not vaccinated and now has a lifelong struggle with a childhood disease really cemented for me that it's super important that we as parents continue to vaccinate our children.
Talk to your pediatrician or visit yvaccines.com. Brought to you by Merck.
Recess recreated the cocktails you know and love, like a lime margarita and a grapefruit paloma, but without the alcohol. So you can enjoy the flavors and feelings of your favorite drinks without the hangover. Each lightly sparkling canned mocktail is infused with functional ingredients and made with real fruit, all with only 25 calories or less. So whether you're relaxing after work or hanging out with friends, Recess Zero Proof Craft Mocktails are a guilt-free way to unwind. Head to takearecess.com/mocktails now to get 15% off the Recess Mocktails Sampler Pack.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question: what's the wildest thing you've witnessed at a bachelor or bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK. Some of these submissions. I went to a stag night with a good friend from work. Went to a local strip club. Everything was going well until this knockout redhead got on stage to do her thing.
Oh, yeah.
She was maybe 30 seconds into her dance when we heard what we believed to be the first rumble.
Oh, yeah.
She was clearly having some bowel issues and was holding back the tide as she soldiered through that dance.
If you can hear the rumble in a strip club where they're playing music, that ain't good.
What happened next can only be described as an eruption. She started to move on the pole, and it just went. It hit the dance floor, and splattered everywhere. Not one of us was spared. We all got it dotted with brown, stinky splatter. Her thong made a perfect device for throwing the loose poo stream in separate directions. Then she rushed off stage, of course, leaving a crowd of people staring at one another in equal parts shock and amusement. Aside from the clothes dotted in watery poo, 10 out of 10 even.
Yeah, I've never seen that. We did years ago, different station in Baltimore. They Guys Night Out is what they called it. One of the places was at Night Shift Strip Club. So we did multiple stops, all right? So this is one of the stops. I went outside to smoke a cigarette. It's like 70 dudes or something like that. And about 8 of them walk outside, and they are pissed. Right? I have no idea what's going on. I'm thinking there's a fight, something like that. And they're all disgusted. They are angry. I'm like, what is going on, man? They're like, stripper, man. She came out and squirted us all with the breast milk. I don't know what to tell you.
Gonna beat some sweet sounds.
I didn't see that coming. I don't know what to tell you, man. They were pissed, though. I was like, well, things happen, dude.
Mm-hmm. That's what she does.
Apparently, that's her trick.
Guys, in downtown Nashville, there were 2 bachelorette parties in the same bar. Now, whatever you know or don't know about Nashville, just know this: in the last 20 years, that has become a bachelorette party haven.
I would call it the bachelorette party capital of the country.
It really is.
If Vegas is where dudes like to go for their bachelor party, Nashville has become that for women.
It is. So 2 bachelorette parties in the same bar. Both were on the smaller side compared to other bachelorette parties. Now, both parties were dancing in front of the stage, and one of the bridesmaids from party A accidentally fell into the bride of party B. Not Cardi. Next thing you know, the bride of party B smacks the girl who bumped into her across the face and then throws her drink on her. Suddenly, there's a full-on fight going on with 12 to 14 girls who are all fighting in front of the stage, complete with hair pulling, slapping, hitting, tops getting torn off, and drinks and shoes getting thrown. The bouncer was doing his best, but he couldn't control the chaos. Most of the patrons got away from the mess, but 2 members of the band stopped playing. They tried to break up the fight. It took a while, but things died down. The best part was that the lead guitarist just kept playing and whipped up Van Halen's Eruption while the fight was happening.
That's kind of funny.
Yes.
It's probably, I am not getting involved in this. I am not getting involved.
No.
Man, one thing, dudes start to fight, people try to break it up. Well, women fight, and this is dead honest. I let them fight because inevitably tops get torn off. Like, if you let them fight long enough, you're going to see boobs, guys. It's just, for whatever reason, that's the guarantee.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every time.
A friend of mine was getting married, and a whole load of us went out to celebrate and did it in the fashion of a pub crawl. He's ginger, and someone thought it would be funny to purchase a bag of carrots to torment him for the evening, mainly to throw it at random intervals, just throw carrots. After a few beers, one of the guys decided it would be funny to put one of the carrots up his bum for a cheap laugh. He pulled it out and was waving it around as if it was a weapon. At that moment, another one of the guys had wandered back from the toilet, picked up his drink, and wandered over to the carrot-wielding assailant. The carrot was then slowly waved under his nose, and without thinking or knowing where it had been, he bit it off and began to eat it. The disgusted roar, followed by laughter, will always stay with me from that night.
Yeah, man, that's... I don't think I've ever inserted anything in my rectum for, quote-unquote, a laugh. We're having a bachelor party, guys. Give me the carrot. It's that time.
I've eaten things out of people's orifices before, but not that one.
And we got in trouble for that. Yeah.
We did get in big trouble for that one. Guys, I got to
didn't know you can't do that on the radio. Mm-hmm. We honestly did not. It was
just can't talk about it.
Well, we
didn't.
We honestly we didn't know. Her name was Sunset Thomas, and she came and she did these entire interview naked, right? And she was trying to bring sex toys, but she couldn't get them through TSA, right? So I mean, she is butt naked. She's there for an hour and a half. I don't know, but at one point. She pulls out a banana, and does what you think, and I dare you to take a bite. So I took a bite. But my part that I bit was exposed, all right? Which, again, apparently that was against the rules. I, honest to God, did not know at the time. But then she had the other half and said, challenge Miles to eat, and he popped that thing straight in his mouth.
You didn't know because it wasn't in the rule book?
No, honest to God, we didn't know, man. And as soon as that show ended, our boss, his office was across the hall, says, get into my office, and then he slams the door, and he just looks at us for like 5 seconds and just says, are you effing stupid? And I said, well, when you ask it that way, it leads me to believe that perhaps we are. So
he also told us we needed to leave the station right now. You need to get out of here before anyone else comes in.
You're going to be fired.
You need to go home right now. And this is like 2 minutes after the show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just finished it. It was a great show.
Okay. All right, we'll leave. We'll get out of here.
We didn't know, Mike. We didn't know. Now we do. So we haven't done that since.
I got a text to come to a bridge we met at. I got there and saw a group of guys singing and holding bottles of whiskey or vodka floating down the river on a couch strapped to barrels, followed by 2 guys, one wearing a dress, on a matching love seat. Turns out they knew the bride-to-be did not like the groom-to-be's furniture. It was exceptionally secondhand. So they raided his apartment and emptied everything that she did not like as a pre-wedding present, so that when she moved in, it would be ready for her to fill with the right stuff. Turns out that filling the river with garbage, not legal. A few days later, they were digging stuff out with police supervision out of the river. And it also turns out that the new furniture and kitchenware, that turned out to be very expensive, and the bride was not happy about having to purchase it.
Well, you didn't like the furniture. They thought they were doing you a solid. And as far as littering the river, it seems obvious when you say it, but I would not have thought about that either. Like, guys, this would be funny. Let's float, right? Wouldn't give it another thought until the cops show up and you go, you know what, guys? You're right. Maybe I shouldn't throw sofas in the river. But to be fair, we were floating on it. Didn't mean to litter.
Now, I mean, you would think, though, you got to get it out of there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, I would think, like, hey, we're going to float down the river, and when we're done, we'll take the sofa and dump it wherever. But I'm sure, as Miles said, they're throwing all kinds of other crap, thinking it's funny. But in that moment, you're not trying to be irresponsible. You're just, this is funny. And then, again, the cops go, right, you threw a lamp in the river. You go, dude, you're absolutely right. I did not think this through. But I think with most bachelor or bachelorette parties, you don't think a lot of things through. You come up with the initial plan.
Well, didn't you guys take all the furniture out of the hotel lobby and stack it against Hair Club's door on the weekend of our bachelor party? So when he opened the door, all the furniture from the hallway would fall on him?
That was the idea, Miles. So Cass and I, we may have been on drugs or we may have had alcohol in us, but we thought it'd be a great. It's like 3 a.m. So Hair Club refused to stay close proximity to where we were. Same hotel, but he's like, I'm not stupid. But we figured out his room number, okay? So once we figured out his room number, me and Castle, we basically went to the lobby. It's kind of a separate lobby from the main one. We grabbed a sofa, leaned it against his door. And the idea was when he opens his door in the morning, he gets hit in the face with all this stuff, which, again, in retrospect, not a great idea. But we grabbed the sofa. There was a potted plant, the fire extinguisher, a table, a couple of lamps. Oh, all the newspapers they dropped in front of the doors. We grabbed every single one of them from every hotel room, put them on top, and we thought it was hysterical. And again, so when he gets up in the morning, he gets hit in the face with a fire extinguisher. So we get up the next morning. We see Hair Club. He does not look particularly angry. So finally we have to ask him, hey, man, anything unusual when you woke up this morning? He's like, no. Why do you ask? We're like, you didn't get hit in the face with like a potted plant? He's like, why would I get hit in the face with a potted plant? So we said, look, man, me and Castle, we stacked all this crap in front of your door. He goes, why would you do this? So you get hit in the face with a potted plant. We just went through this. Keep up, man. So we leaned all this crap against your door because we thought it'd be hysterical. He goes, look, maybe you got the wrong room. When I opened my door, there's nothing there. And we said, well, wait, what room are you in? Because we're checking out at this point. So he gives his room number. And we said, dude, that's the door we put it in front of. Then Castle and I realized security is just mean mugging us. They got cameras in there. So they watched us stack all this crap up. Instead of throwing, they probably look to see when we're checking out. So instead of throwing us out, they disassembled.
Cackling like hyenas the entire time.
Oh, my God, we were dying. We're like, this will be great. Because even though he'll know it's us, we don't have to admit to it. You know, whatever hits him in the face or lands in his room, just like, that's ridiculous. That was the plan. That was the whole plan. And so security had to disassemble all of our nonsense, put it back. But, yeah, they were not pleased with us. But and so since then, we had a thing. When Castle got married, we went down to Vegas, okay? And, again, there, you know, like any Vegas casino, there's multiple towers. He would not stay in the same tower. Same casino, different tower. And all we wanted to do was figure out his room number. And he was, I mean, stealthy as you could be. We tried following him, but he knew we were following him. Seriously, we had Castle's soon-to-be sister-in-law, kind of a good-looking chick, and we go like, hey, start flirting with him, right? Seriously. And she was like, I'm on it, so she's kind of hitting on him. And at one point, he just looks at us and goes, I know she's just trying to be sexy because you want to get my room number. We said, yeah. Then we waited for him to pay his bill, all right? So he paid his bill, but you put it on your room numbers on the receipt. He would not open the book to let us find out. He would not do anything to let us. I want to say we spent 2 days. By the time we figured out his room number, I think either he changed rooms or something. He was so paranoid about us doing something to him. But to be fair, that was our goal. We're like, yeah, we absolutely want to sabotage you, man.
Another time we were down in Portland, we offered the front desk person $500 in cash that we had in our hands to get that number. And they would not.
Oh, that's right.
They would not take
our buddy who we call Batman, right? He's like, I'm in.
$500.
We collected $500, went to the front desk and said, listen, we need to get a guy's room number. He's our friend. They believed us. And our buddy Batman puts $500 on the counter. Says, I'm giving this to you. This is cash. We do not care. We just want this guy's number. And he's like, sir, we really can't give out other people's room numbers. I'm like, it's $500 in cash, brother. He's like, I'm not saying I don't want to take your money, and I'm not saying I don't want to give out the room number. He's like, I just can't. So we thought at that point he might crack. And we're like, look, man, we can sweeten the pot. He's like, no, listen, I do want the money. I just can't give you the room number. So I'm like, dude, we're all out of ideas.
Right. Was it a nice hotel?
Yes, it was.
That's the issue.
I think was it the Wynn? I think we're at the Wynn. I'm pretty sure.
You do that at I don't know.
Do one in Fremont. They'd be
they'll hook you up, right? But those are kind of, especially the Wynn. The Wynn's the nicest one.
It is
that's where all the celebrities stay.
I know, but it's hey, this guy's not a celebrity. It's just, he's one of our friends, but he refuses to tell us what room. And it's like, well, why would he refuse to tell you? I'm like, because we're up to no good. But $500, we could be up to no good to him. But yeah, they would not budge, man. But
the Wynn, even after that, the Formula One race, I can't even describe the women in that hotel. Right? Because my buddy and his son had tickets to the nightclub. Me and 2 other buddies did not. So we're just walking around. This is post-race. It was like midnight, 1 a.m. The women were unbelievable. The amount of fake butts I saw blew my mind.
Oh, it's staggering.
That's like the new thing. But also, even the guys. I was like, God damn, everybody in here is beautiful.
Everyone's good looking. Yep. I did meet one of the, I believe I told her you're the biggest hooker I've met in my life. We were at the bar, I'm sitting there with Batman, and she comes sauntering in. She's a big, big girl. But we start chatting because we're sitting at the bar. I'm like, oh, what do you do for a living? She's like, I'm a prostitute. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I didn't know. So we started talking about her gig and all this kind of thing. But I told her, you're the biggest hooker I've seen in my life. She goes, I got a skill set. Which I completely understood. Oh, yeah, I mean, she was very open about this, man. So it's a great conversation. My wife's just shaking her head like, Jesus Christ, man. So we're buying each other beer. We're having a great conversation. Her phone keeps buzzing, right? And finally she flips it over and she's like, that's my John, man. He's here to meet me. I'm having a good time. Let's keep talking. So she made the dude wait like 45 minutes. So like, oh, he'll wait.
Okay.
There's no doubt. She's like, I'm real good.
He's ready to rock.
He was.
I tell you, one of the weirdest ones. My buddy moved away our senior year of high school.
Okay.
And he lived 2 doors down. About
3 doors down.
We grew. We based actually 2. We grew up together. Our parents knew each other, the whole 9 yards. When he moved away, he's probably maybe 24, 25 when he got married.
Okay.
So it's 5 years from the point that he'd moved to Ohio, but not too far away, maybe 2-3 hours. But at any rate, there are a couple of pretty good strip clubs there were then in Morgantown where we grew up.
Okay.
So the idea was that when he was going to do his bachelor party, he was going to bring a couple of his friends from Ohio, come back to Morgantown where the majority of his friends were, and we were going to throw him the bachelor party in Morgantown. Now, a couple of things. The strip clubs in Morgantown are predominantly college students.
Okay.
Making money. So they're all
but they're up at the fun.
They're all on the younger side.
Are they a nursing school? That seems to be the main.
You would be surprised at the talent in these strip clubs.
You said they're college girls. I would not be surprised.
But just to go to the middle of nowhere in West Virginia, go to a strip club, and you were like, oh my God, like these girls are really attractive, and they are. That was kind of part of the play. So he comes down. I think he's coming with his 2 friends, and he does. He also brings his dad.
Okay. All right.
So, we go out for a few drinks. My stepfather's there. There's a couple of, my brother's there. There's a few other people. All of our friends were, they were going to just kind of join us early. Then,
let you guys do whatever we're
going to do. Well, the beers start flowing early, and everyone decides they're going to go to the strip club. Everyone. Dads.
What do you know?
Brothers.
Even Dad was in to go
friends.
to the strip club. Yeah.
So, okay, all right. Go to the strip club. I'm like, this is an awkward situation. I mean, I'm an adult. I'm 24 years old, but it's just still kind of weird.
Well, someone's dad.
This guy is, he would yell at us. Like, he beat our ass when we did stuff. Like, and now he's up there throwing money around, And, so I believe that they got my buddy a room to go into for a little while. I think his dad paid for that for however long that was, whatever.
My dad did.
So, yeah, my buddy comes out, my buddy Pat comes out, and he's smiling. He's, yeah, it was great, man, blah, 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 blah. And so not really paying attention because I'm just kind of watching what's going on, throwing money out, having a good time, talking to some chick. I think it was my stepfather says, all right, listen, I need to get out of here. And I was like, all right, yeah, man, okay, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. So he leaves with my brother. Now I'm sitting there with like his friends, a couple of my buddies, and one of his buddies was like, all right, there's one more club that we can go to. We've kind of done our time here because we were there long enough where the girls started cycling back around.
Right.
So there might have been 5 or 6 girls working that night. We saw them all. So we were like, all right, we've given them all money. It's time to get out of here and go to the next place. So we get up, we're paying our bill, looking around, and we cannot find my buddy's dad. He is nowhere to be found. My stepfather left. My brother left. But the buddy who's getting married, and I know his mother very, very well. Mm-hmm. Countless dinners, driving us to and from places, all these things. We can't find his dad. And this is taking an extraordinary longer time than it should. Like, I think the private room maybe was 10 to 15 minutes.
All right.
Now we're waiting for over a half an hour. We are out. This is before cell phones. We're out in the parking lot looking around, and are you sure that he did not leave with my stepdad?
Yeah,
and your brother. No, I'm telling you, I watched those two walk out. He's in a back room, and he tripled his time with this woman. All right, triple time. I don't know how much money that he spent. But, I mean, whatever he got for Pat, 10, 15 minutes, he tripled it for himself. And he walked out, and he's kind of disheveled, and he's kind of wrinkled all up. And, I mean, again, I've known this guy since I'm 6 years old, and he's very serious. He was in a corporate world. He always wore a suit and tie. He was he was very, very, he would crack jokes, but not very frequently. His demeanor was just that of someone who was just pretty, rigid, so to speak. I've never seen him smile like the smile that he had. And I'm like,
came out?
You got to be kidding me. And we're like, Mac, do you want to go to the other place? He's like, absolutely. He's like, we are going to do this all night. And I'm just like, this is almost like your bachelorette.
Yeah, okay.
He was buying everybody drinks,
living
in
it
the
up.
Place. But it's just so weird when there's family around.
Yeah,
that was
weird.
I'd never been to a that kind of a party where that stuff was going on, and like I knew everybody. It's different if it's your friends, but you're just like I'll be damned. What is the wildest thing that you've witnessed at a bachelor or a bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question once in a while is saying you've witnessed at a bachelor or bachelorette party. Here's a positive bachelor party story.
All right.
A man celebrating his son's bachelor party in Vegas is headed home with some extra money after he hit a jackpot while playing slots. According to Caesars Entertainment, the lucky winner, identified as Daniel Plateau of Wisconsin, he won $131,800 after landing a jackpot Saturday night while playing slots at Paris, Las Vegas.
Paris, okay, yeah.
Goes to a bachelor party for his kid. Ends up with $131,000.
He just paid for the bachelor party.
According to the company, he hit the jackpot after playing for about 30 minutes. He said that he plans to use his winnings to pay bills, help pay for the wedding, and make donations, according to Caesars.
Weird, different people, me and that guy.
$131,000.
Yeah, not bad, man.
Never heard anyone bringing home that haul from Vegas. What is the wildest thing you witnessed at a bachelor or a bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Men's Room.
How you doing?
Hola.
Hola.
So, Chris, what did you witness?
Well, I went to a bachelor party with one of my coworkers, and we went to a local strip club in SeaTac. I'm not going to say Deja Vu, but it was, and after we were there for like an hour, the bachelor decided that it would be a good idea to bite on one of the dancers, hoo-ha.
He thought that was a good idea.
He thought it was a good idea. And so there was 14 of us that had to pay like an extra $100 each to stay in the club. Otherwise, we were all getting thrown out.
Oh, so they made you pay to stay?
Yes. They're like, look, we can fix this, but this is what it's going to cost.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't really bite people.
Yeah, in general.
Anywhere.
There's no biting involved. Like dancers, no, you can't do that.
You can't. I think that's just general in any decorum.
Was the dancer cool with that resolution? I understand management can make that call.
100%. But
okay.
I mean, at the same time, he was a Mexicali who was absolutely on the tequila level. They already knew.
Had you already? You said it's a co-worker. So had you ever seen him that kind of messed up before?
Yeah, because of poker. We played poker together, and
okay.
I've seen him on one, but I've never seen him with a woman that way.
I have not seen any.
Can't say on the radio.
cocksucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't bite people. I had a situation where a rock girl bit me one night.
Oh, yeah, what?
We were like a
Showbox or something like that?
Yeah, we were at Showbox. And she was having a tough time that night. For whatever reason, it had nothing to do with me.
Did you know she was having a tough like? How did this go down?
I didn't know her. I was just basically sitting beside her on the couch.
Right.
She was having a conversation with somebody else. I think I was talking to somebody else. And the next thing I know, I'm like, she's latched onto my arm.
She just bit you out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know. I did not know her name. I had not had a conversation with her. I think that later on, she maybe exhibited signs that there was more going on than anybody knew about.
Okay, all right.
As far as some actions, maybe, but I couldn't believe how bad. I'm like, dude, you are seriously biting me. What is going on with you?
How long was she biting? Did you have to like pry her head off?
For like 25 seconds, 30 seconds.
You're actively trying to get her mouth off of you.
I was like, this is not definitely a turn on. Like, I don't know why you're doing this, because she was biting me. I mean, the next day there was like teeth mark in my forearm.
And you hadn't said a single word.
I had not talked to her. I was talking to another person beside me. She was talking to her own person.
Right.
That person got up and left. She turned to me and just started biting the hell out of me. Because I remember I went up to like house. I was like, "Who is that?
Right.
Like, what? Why in the hell? What is going on?" Because like you got to remember, man. Like,
so wait, you're trying to pull her head off of your
This was the backstage band area.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're
at the time, and I'm pretty sure I remember the band that was playing, but there were a number of other notable people that just came into town.
Sure,
or they were here for whatever reason. Because I just got done talking to like I don't know, Gilby Clark was back there. There was a bunch of I think Duff was back there. There was just a number of guys who were friends who were in the music scene, and they were all back there too. So it wasn't like it was.
Did they see this too?
I don't remember if they did or not. I'm just telling you who was. It was not like this crazy out of control thing. It was people like who were eating and drinking,
right,
hanging out and just talking, getting ready to go. Next thing I know, I could not get her off my arm. I could not get her off my arm. I was like, "What in the hell's going on?"
Bless you.
Yes.
Jesus.
My question was, the wildest thing you witnessed at a bachelor or a bachelorette party? Here's one. We persuaded the groom to go for a single dance in a club. He got talking to the stripper as she pulled her clothes back on about his upcoming wedding plans. He was surprised that she was actually interested in his wedding.
She wasn't.
So he chatted with her for what seemed like ages. He did not realize he was still in the private dancing area. So, in turn, he's still on the clock. He accidentally spent another $270, basically just telling a stripper about the cake, about who was playing with the band, the seating arrangements for his wedding, while she was 3 feet away from him with her clothes on the entire time.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong, bro. You're doing it wrong. And she played your ass, but good on
Right,
her.
I was say he probably just didn't, because there's a lot of people that have never been to a strip club. You wouldn't know that, but like you got to get out of that room.
Yeah. No,
But,
you would not know that. You're 100% correct about that. But like,
Is it
bro,
extra time? I mean, is it more money than it would typically be?
And you're paying for their time. So just
Right.
to me, like if you're paying to be in a back room, like, yeah, when you're done chatting, you should get out of there. Or when you're done with the dance or whatever it is you're doing. None of my
absolutely
business.
get out of there.
Get out of there.
And then if she wants to know about your wedding, she can visit you at your table.
Correct.
And she won't.
Here's another. I was at airport security when a bachelor party was going through ahead of me. The groom's bag was actually flagged, and he was pulled aside. His friends all were smirking, and he looked bewildered. Security reached in and pulled out a can of beer with a massive phallic duct taped onto it. He was mortified. Everyone started chanting for him to drink it, and he chugged the beer at 6 a.m. with a unit slapping him in the face.
Was it a dildo?
Yes. It was glorious.
I do respect at 6 a.m. Just like, screw it, I'll chug the beer.
I'm going to chug the beer. I'm already embarrassed. You might as well chug a beer.
And to stick that in the guy's bag.
You ever done that party trick? I've done it to somebody. It's like,
well, before you get on a plane?
No, just like it's way too early, and you're not drinking to start drinking.
Right.
But like, I was at my friend's house, and we had been sitting on a dock all night.
All right.
So the next morning, we wake up. Like, he's not a drinker, so he doesn't care. But the other guys I'm with, they are severely hungover, as am I. But there's one can of beer that's been sitting on that dock. The sun's up. It is warm. And so I'm kind of, he's like, so my buddy that doesn't drink, like, who's going to drink the beer? And the other two guys like, if I have a sip, I'm going to puke. chug that bad boy down. They were like,
start today up.
They were like, what are you doing? But after my brother's wedding, I was 19. I remember my Uncle Tim doing it to us. He just looked at us. We're in the elevator. We're taking all the extra booze out. And he's like, oh, you boys hurting? And he just drank one. As I'm saying, like, it's not like I went out the rest of the day. It just shocks people.
Did it kind of help, though?
Honestly, it was. I almost puked back up. It was bad. I had done it before, like, to mess with somebody, but that one was tough.
But because it's sitting out in the sun.
Yeah, I mean, it was warm.
Guys, my girlfriend went to a bachelorette party in Savannah, Georgia. If you've been, you know there are super steep cobblestone stairs by the river. The bride, at the time, threw a girl from another bachelorette party down the stairs.
Jesus.
She was knocked out and was bleeding. They rushed her to the hospital. The bride, who pushed the girl, started receiving calls from the police and started ducking the calls while we were on her bachelorette party. Now, the other party of girls, they've been trying pretty hard to find her and press charges, but she'd avoided them the best she could and still has ever since. My girlfriend and the rest of the girls from the party did not attend the wedding, and we don't speak to this girl anymore to this day. I don't know if there even was a wedding. The bride was basically talking about cheating at the bachelorette party. She's a mess. And there was this group of super religious guys.
So wait, the bride's talking about cheating.
The bride.
Her friend pushed her down those stairs and hurt her. And
the bride
the bride's the one who pushed
the other wedding party.
All right.
So they're basically like, they didn't even go to the wedding. Because after this girl did this at the bachelorette party, we're out. A group of super religious guys I know, and one was getting married my sophomore year of college during the summer. I met up with them at the local elementary school, where they proceeded to put on diapers and have races around the playground. I passed on that one. They went to the lake where they read Bible verses. I got bored and left. It was the worst bachelor party I've ever gone to in my life.
So they ran around the track in diapers and then went back and read Bible verses.
That is correct.
That would be so surreal to me. Like, no. You know, or at least give people a heads up that that's the plan.
Mm-hmm. At my friend's bachelor party a few years ago, after a night of very heavy drinking, my twin brother fell off a balcony of at least 20 feet. Thankfully, the only thing that happened as a result of the fall was a broken wrist, which is a lot more.
Then he was definitely hammered.
Went to a strip club with 4 or 5 guys and got 2 bottles of vodka at the table. My friend had a naked stripper giving him a lap dance, the whole 9 yards. Then he threw up all over her.
Oh.
That is one thing I've never done, is thrown up on somebody. I have thrown up from drinking. I have not thrown up on anybody
on
else.
Someone.
Never.
I mean, in sports, I did.
I can see that in sports, and obviously if you're a certain age, because you're little, I get it. But, yeah, I want to say in my adult life, I've thrown up near people. But, yeah, I don't think I've actually hit anyone with my vomit. And I'm happy to say no one's vomited on me.
Other than my kids.
You.
What's that?
Your wife puked on you.
Oh, God, that's right. She was working at the Washington Times, I think it was. Anyway, she's going to move to Seattle with me, but it's her last Christmas party with her coworkers. And I did not get that hammered. But she and a very good friend of hers at work are just taking down bottles of red wine. So I'm already like, this is going to end poorly. And one of the food options was chicken, which figures into this later. So anyway, I'm now driving us back to Baltimore, 40-minute drive, whatever it is. And she wakes up. Now, she had passed out in the car, which was fantastic. And right at the sign that says, "Welcome to Baltimore," she wakes up and she goes, "I'm going to throw up." So I'm like, man, roll down the window. She rolled it down like 2 inches. Just blah. Hits the window, lands in all the pockets, on the side door. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So pull into like the 7-Eleven, run in. There's a long-ass line. I just want to get paper towels. So I just throw a 5 up there. The guy's like, I can't keep the change. I'm like, dude, just keep it. It's fine. So to the cashier's credit, he actually came outside to give me my change. But when he came out and saw my wife, she's all slumped over and there's vomit everywhere. He's like, oh. I said, yeah, a bit of a hurry. Fine. I think it's all out of her system. We get to my place. I am now taking her out of the car. I walk into my place. I'm going to put her in the shower. And as I'm putting her in the shower, blah, on top of my bald head. And the thing I remember most was, it smells like red wine, but I remember I could feel the bits of chicken running behind my ears. And I'm like, I am so disgusted right now. So I got her ass in the shower, cleaned myself up a little bit, and I'm scooping vomit out of all the pockets in the car. That car reeked for months after that, man. And it was the dead of winter. So every time we turned on the heat, you were reminded that she had red wine and chicken. But thank you, Ted, for reminding me. Yes, she did, in fact, puke directly on me.
Stuff doesn't get out of those air vents.
It doesn't. Because even when we thought we got the car clean, you think you do, but, 17 degrees outside, so you warm up the car, go back in the house, come back out 5 minutes later. Car was warm, but it smelled like the inside of her stomach.
Here's a memorable one. What happens on a bachelorette party usually stays at the bachelorette party, they say, but one fiancé and her friends have returned with a keepsake that will last a lifetime. Taylor Downs in a bridal party. They celebrated in Nashville. Ahead of her wedding day in March of last year. Now, usually, as they say, the sort of shindig involves dinner, drinks, dancing, clubbing. According to what most people do from a survey, other activities include ball crawling or even relaxing at a spa. It does not mention, though, heading to a tattoo shop, which is exactly where Downs and her crew ended up. Now, they are from a rural part of Georgia, and Downs got her inner lip tattooed, and she showed it on TikTok. The clip shows the couple sitting in their parked car kissing, and Downs then pretends that she bit her lower lip. She asked if her lip is bleeding, and he takes a closer look. She flips down her lower lip to show him the word yeehaw. Instantly, the man's jaw drops, and he begins to laugh. He can be heard saying, "You did not," followed by yeehaw. "You are a frickin' joke." And he begins clapping his hands in hysterics. Stunned, he then says, "You got a tattoo that says yeehaw. You have no idea how much I love you." So far, the clip captioned his reaction as to why I loved him has amassed over 12 million views and 1.7 million likes.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
I like that.
On the inside of a lip.
Somebody here says, at a buddy's bachelor party about 10 years ago, we got kicked out of the city of Everett. One guy got arrested, and then later that night, another guy fell into a bonfire, severely burned himself, but didn't go to the hospital. Great times. That is how it ends. Great times.
A relationship that had been sidelined by infidelity on his part ended up somehow back together. As good decisions go, they decided to push past the insecurities by just getting married. So he planned his own bachelor party, and we were just along for the ride. Her one rule, no naked girls. Well, the second stop of the evening, after an all-you-can-eat buffet, was, of course, a gentleman's club. We all chipped in and got him a private dance or two, hoping to soon be on our way. Instead, he went off with not one but two girls and was gone for almost an hour, racking up hundreds of dollars in charges. So we went to get his ass out of there and move on. And he said, "You guys got this covered, right?" No, bud, we've already paid for two. We'd already spent what we brought money-wise. Then bouncers appeared from nowhere and politely prevented us from leaving until he settled up. I had to help his drunken ass activate the PIN on his card to visit the ATM. The problem? Guess who was monitoring his spending activity on their joint account the entire night?
What do you think?
He flew home to an empty apartment.
Oh, wow.
I've never known anybody to get in that much trouble on their bachelor or bachelorette party.
Not for that, no.
Where it came to the point where the relationship didn't make it through the night.
Right.
I have never been witness to that or anybody doing anything that I can think of that would warrant that.
But I guess, but she had the what? No naked girl rule.
Well, yeah, but
she meant it.
Whatever your actions are,
that's,
I've never.
That does seem a bit extreme. My wife would always like, we can go to Vegas or the bachelor parties. She's like, "What'd you guys do?" And I'm like, "Whatever you think we did, we probably did." I remember 50%. You know there was alcohol. You know there were drugs. I'm sure there was a strip club. We did whatever you think we did.
I've heard of stories of people who do things in strip clubs. I have just never been in a strip club or never been someone who has been asked to participate in any of those things.
No, and I don't want to be honest with you. Like, man, that's quite... Just do your dance. I'm good with that. I want to say the last strip club I went to, that I can think of, one of the bachelor party trips down to Portland, but this strip club is out in the middle of nowhere. It is just the weirdest thing. There's like one building, there's nothing else, but inside of this like old Victorian house, they turned it into a strip club. I think I only walked in once. I'm outside smoking cigarettes, man, but all the girls, it's going to shock you. A lot of them smoke. So they would come out, they sit down on the bench next to me, we would chat, do the thing. They're like, "Hey, man, I'm up." They'd go in. Whatever. It was about like 2 hours. So finally, one of the dudes we're with, name withheld, but he would say, "Dude, you got to come inside. Dude, I'm telling you, there's this one chick in particular, super hot, blah, 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 blah." So before we leave for the night, I finally go in. And they introduce whoever this girl is that he thinks is so smoking hot. And she walks out, and she's an absolute smoke show. No doubt about it. So he's a fairly obnoxious dude, but he's doing what he can to make it rain and all this kind of thing. And I'm maybe 2 stools down from him. And she just kind of walks by him, takes his money, stuffs it in her G-string. She gets to me, and I mean, she's shaking everything. She gives me like this whole private kind of show thing. and then finish. It's kind of like a U-shaped stage that she's on. So and then she continues around.
Ooh, was there $2 bills?
No.
Oh, all right, sounds like Casa Diablo. Love that one.
I don't think it was that place, but so anyway, then she finishes her thing. So this dude who had told me to come in and see her, he's like, "The F is that, man? I've been giving her money all night, and your ass walks in and she does all this." I was like, "Bro, I'm outside smoking. I've been talking to her for like an hour. Like, we just get along. That's why I got. I don't know how much money you spent. I have not spent a freaking dime, and that's the treatment I got."
And we were all very drunk. And after my mate's party, a few of us decided to walk home via the railroad yard. And at some point, we all got tired and decided we were too hammered to make it home. So we decided to take a nap in one of the car carriages. Guys, we woke up at lunchtime the next day in another state. And we all missed the wedding, including the groom, because the bachelor party was the night before the wedding, which is
That's the worst idea.
Decision you could
That is old school.
Because
I have a family friend. He's older than I am, like coached a bunch of years and stuff. But like even at tailgates, like he's one of those guys. Like he liked to he'd have like 2 drinks. Right?
Okay.
He just wasn't a big drinker. And one day we were talking about bachelor parties, this and that, and his wife was there. She's like, "Oh, I almost didn't marry him," and I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "You know, he's in his 50s. He's like, we used to do it the night before." He goes, "You know, I'm not a huge partier." Like basically, he's vomiting in the bushes. In the tux, like right before the wedding, and they're like, gotta drag him in. He's still half in the bag. But just and if you knew this guy, you'd be like, that guy?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I am so happy that tradition is gone. There's no reason to have it the night before.
You can have it a month before.
Anything.
It's fine.
Not the night before.
What is the wildest thing you've witnessed at a bachelor or a bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what is the wildest thing you've witnessed at a bachelor or a bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK.
Give me 1 second here. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Long-time caller, long-time listener.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, so the first part isn't very wild, but about 8 years ago, my little brother got married, and his best man planned this great thing up at the Toledo Casino. We went out for a great dinner. They got 2 nice adjoining rooms. There was supposed to be 2 strippers coming over later in the evening, and so, we're all finished with the festivities for dinner. We go to the room. We're waiting. They're supposed to be there like 8 o'clock, and it's 8:30. It's 8:45. it's 9 o'clock. Well, it turned out my brother's best man, who was a really nice guy but a little naive, he never called to double check to make sure that the girls were actually going to show up. And so went this whole evening. No girls ever showed up. So probably the most disappointing bachelor party ever. Well, fast forward a couple of weeks, the night before the wedding, my brother had called me and he said, hey, I've only got one other opportunity. I can't afford to rent a place again. Can we have it at your house? And I was like, we can have it at my house, but you got to let my girlfriend be there because she lives there too.
So wait, this is the night before the wedding? You said the night before?
So he called me like a week before, but the only time they could do it was the night before the wedding.
Okay.
And so he calls me up, and I'm like, let me talk to my girlfriend. She's all for it. I'm no longer with her for good reason. She was fun, but also a good thing that she's in my past. So anyhow, we have this in my house the night before the wedding. The girls show up, and they sent two girls. And one of them, immediately, she looks through my house at the back patio. My ex-girlfriend was out back having a smoke. And this girl is just, the stripper, she's so excited to see that there's another woman there and that she's not just dealing with a bunch of horny men all night long. So she goes out there. She's palling it up with my girlfriends. And the end of the story is everybody had a great night. But the girls brought some Molly. And so when all the rest of the boys went home, I got to hang out with my girlfriend and the two strippers and a bag of Molly for the evening.
How did that work out for you?
It was one of the better nights of my life.
I believe that it was. Yeah.
Did your girlfriend join in?
My girlfriend definitely joined in. She was the highlight of the party.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay. Man, oh, man. That worked.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Did you share that with your brother?
I shared that with my brother. Well, so the festivities, the after-party festivities started before my brother left, and I remember him giving me this look like, you better not screw up your speech tomorrow, and I managed to show up and give a great speech, and everybody was happy, but he definitely looked at me like, dude, you're not going to ruin my wedding over this, are you? And I was like, I got a bag of Molly and 3 hot girls. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not going to be able to wipe the smile off my face.
Right?
What time was the wedding the next day?
It wasn't until the afternoon, luckily. It was around like 3 in the afternoon. So I had time to at least get some sleep, get myself straight, and show up in a good fashion.
What did you do to prep yourself up for the wedding? Because there's no doubt you woke up the next morning, you're going to shower, you're looking at yourself in the mirror. I mean, were you slapping yourself in the face? Were you chugging coffee? What?
Definitely a lot of coffee that day. I laid off the booze. I didn't, I got there and I was not feeling like drinking when everybody else was. And I took a little extra time to practice my speech so I could still show up and be a good brother despite me having the highlight of his bachelor party.
Did your girlfriend go to the wedding with you?
Oh, yeah, she did. She even caught the bouquet, and luckily we broke up a few months later, and that did not come to fruition.
Let me ask you this. I've never been in that position, right? So you're dating someone. You're not thinking of asking them to marry. You just, your relationship's plodding along, and they catch the bouquet. Like, does your heart sink?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did your girlfriend witness you do anything with the two ladies who were there?
Yeah, they wouldn't have been okay otherwise. That's why it was okay.
Yeah, they were all involved.
All right. So it was all no rules.
The rules were be open and honest with each other.
Well, you're watching. Yeah. You're not going to sneak one in. I mean,
right.
Hey, what are you doing over there with that finger?
Yeah.
You're like,
not what it looks like. Yeah.
I'm not trying to break a rule.
Well, good for you, man. Good for you. Man, Molly seems to show up a lot at bachelor parties. I remember Castle and I trying to, the guy who brought all the Molly, all right, we hadn't really started rolling yet, and he had it on him, but he had also passed out before everyone else. I think I actually got punched in the jaw, which put him to sleep, but he was close to passing out anyway. But where he dropped in the hotel room, man, he's dead weight, so his head is against the bed, his feet are against the door. We don't know this. So Kyle and I are like, all right, man, let's go get the drugs. So we go to his room. We got the key. We can't get the door open, right? I mean, just nothing will open this door. We're like, what the hell? So we finally get it open enough to kind of peek our head in. And Castle's like, you've got to be kidding me. Batman is laid out, head against the bed. Feet. We can't get the door without, like, breaking his neck. So it took us probably 45 minutes away to finagle getting the door open. Like, you'd reach one hand in, right, kind of grab his pant leg and do what you can. But, again, he's dead weight. He's of no help. We finally get in the room. We get his dead ass up, put him in the bed, and we're searching through his bag. We're looking everywhere. We just want to find the drugs, man. That is why we're here. He wakes up for like 1 second, And Castle's like, hey, before you fall back asleep, man, where's the Molly? So he kind of, man, it's over here. But so we grab the Molly, and then Castle looks at me, and he gets real quiet. And I'm like, what? He goes, listen. He goes, is that mother effer crying? And we turned around, and he's kind of a quiet man sobbing, right? We're like, what is wrong with you? He's like, I'm cold, and everyone's being mean to me. Yeah. We're like, all right, man, we threw a blanket on his ass. We're taking the drugs. We're out of here. Okay.
What's the wildest thing you've witnessed at a bachelor or a bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Kevin. Welcome to the men's room. Kevin.
Hello, my friend.
Hola.
Hola. Okay, this story comes from you from New Jersey.
All right.
Had a bachelor party for my buddies. It's probably like 1987, give or take. And I thought, we're doing something different. Rented a limo. The longest limo you can get in those days.
That is a very New Jersey thing to do.
That is very different.
Hear me out. So we packed the limo with, the groom and everybody else. And we head to NYC.
All right.
And there's nothing but fun in NYC. So we decided we're going to hit every club we could think of. The driver's driving us around, and we hit all the clubs. We hit McSorley's, the Beanstalk at the time. They're gone now. And then we decide we need some ladies. Well, there's some working ladies around the Lincoln Tunnel. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think there was an HBO special on it.
There you go. So we bring some ladies on board, and everybody's doing their thing. And when I leave the limo to make sure everybody's having a good time, we're outside McSorley's, and there's a church across the street that comes into play. So we've got the ladies, everybody's having a good time. I go back to the limo, and I see during the whole trip we're pushing this button, and we hear this whirring sound. We're like, what the heck is that? We didn't know. What it was there's a liquor dispenser in the limo, and they didn't disconnect it. So we're pushing the button, and the liquor's pouring on the floor.
And you guys have no idea that this is happening?
No idea. So my brother figures it out. I get back to the limo, and my brother's got a credit card. He's scraping the carpet to make a puddle of the booze that came out of the dispenser, and he's sucking it up. So I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. So we go back into McSorley's. So we decide we're going to pull the groom's shoe off, and we're going to fill the shoe with beer. Because in those days, you would have to buy the beer two glasses at a time for 75 cents. So we fill the groom's shoe with beer, and we're passing it around. So we get thrown out of McSorley's. We're probably the only group that got thrown out of McSorley's. And I go back out, and now we got the ladies. And then I see my brother standing on the side of the road with it just in his tighty whities, with all his clothes and a Playmate, with this biggest grin on his face. And I said to him, what are you doing? He's like, having fun. And that was it. It was like, we take the car back to New Jersey. The town was Parsippany. We bring the car back. This probably was 5-6 hours. The limo driver drops us off. He pretends stupid. He comes back, and he was ticked off. The back of that car was trashed. Booze remnants. Do the math or whatever else was there. And
do the math.
I think we're the reason that you cannot rent limos anymore for bachelor parties.
You're not allowed to do that in New Jersey or New York?
I don't think anywhere for that reason.
Oh, you could still rent limos for bachelor
just
parties.
depends on where it is. Actually, man, Cherry Hill outside of Philadelphia's got some good clubs. It did at that time, and that's about the same era of when I was in that area.
That is impressive, though, to get kicked out of basically the oldest pub or bar in New York City.
Again,
well, that means you're having a good time.
It means you're having a really good time.
I know. I'm just saying they put up with a lot.
Is he still married?
Not only did he throw us out, I will never forget this. He said, "All right, laddies, you're all out of here." He just scooped up our stuff and almost literally threw us out the door. And if you know McSorley's, it still has the old swinging doors from the 19th century.
Yeah.
He just threw the stuff through it, and we were out. And I thought, you know what? That's a good time.
Yeah, sounds like a great time.
It is. I've only been thrown out of one place where I wasn't having a good time. And the place I got thrown out of, everyone's like, how did you get thrown out of and banned from that bar? I mean, this bar, it's like the Star Wars bar. You could probably walk in there and kill a man. They'd be like, okay, we're going to cut you off. And they're like, really, man? They threw you out. I said, yeah, they threw me out, and I got banned. But I was hammered. And I don't remember what the argument was, but there was just some woman there who's just being awful. So we're just trading words back and forth. And, like, the music stopped at the moment that I dropped the C-bomb on her, right? So I realized now everyone's looking at me, and I'm just like, but the bartender's looking at me, and to try to, like, break the situation, I'm like, yeah, let me get another beer. And the bartender did not say a word. She looked at me, and she did the slowest head shake no you've ever seen. And I'm like, this is bad. Then it was explained to me by the bouncer that C-bomb you're talking to, yeah, they own the bar.
Uh-oh.
Oh!
And you had been in there.
I had been in there. I'd been in there many times. And, yeah, I got banned. And the sad part was it was across the street from my house. Like anytime I wanted to go to the bar, I had to go somewhere else.
The first time I went to that bar was for, like, somebody's birthday, right? And they're like, hey, let's go there. Do whatever it is they do in the evening there. And I remember watching a guy puke his brains out and, like, didn't miss a beat. Cleaned the side of his lip, walked back in, not a care in the world.
Really, just went back to drinking beer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why everybody's saying, you got banned from that place?
Trust me, man. I know.
They don't have too many rules.
They don't, but I broke at least one of them.
What's the wildest thing you witnessed at a bachelor or bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jake. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so personal bachelor party. Me and some buddies got a rental place down in Ocean Shores over a long weekend, some debauchery, casinos there, so we had some playtime, some gambling. Well,
what's the closest casino? Is that Quinault, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's Quinault. Yeah.
Okay.
And they have like a shuttle that services that whole beach area down there, so you can if you get a VRBO down there, you can catch the shuttle and go to the casino, and it'll take you back whenever you need to.
Nice.
So we're on day 2 of debauchery. Everybody's pretty tilted. Somebody scrolls across a 70-foot fin whale washed up on shore about a half a mile from our VRBO.
Now that's the second biggest whale in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, this thing is huge. It's 70 feet long. At this point, it is ridiculously bloated, probably like 12-foot diameter across its stomach. When we get down there, it's blown out. You can't stand downwind of it. It's throw-up worthy. Being near it, we're hammered. We offer up to one of our most intoxicated friends $50 if he walks the length of the whale. So we get him. He walks up the tail. He makes it about halfway down the carcass, and it is getting real squishy, like going to fall overhead deep into whale guts, and we're going to have to dig him out of there. So we end up having to pay him double to get him off of it before he falls in.
He was actually on top of the whale.
Yes, walking the length of the whale. He made it to about the midsection, and he's getting some, like, foot-deep squishy on the guts.
It's amazing the thing didn't blow.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, it was bad.
How bad did that smell?
That's got to be top 2 in my lifetime. I think the only other thing, we shot a rabbit when I was a kid once upon a time doing some hunting, and I skinned that, and you broke into the guts on accident, and like top tier number 1, number 2, dead exploded whale on the ocean beach after a couple weeks.
I can't imagine just how huge that thing was to see.
Yeah.
I mean
it's disgusting. Look it up. 2013 fin whale, Ocean Shores. This thing is disturbing. I don't think the pictures will do it justice.
Yep. Deep down, were you kind of hoping that thing exploded while your buddy was standing on it?
Oh, absolutely. I would have regretted having to, dive in and swim around guts to dig him out of there.
No doubt.
But that would have been the better story to tell.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, that's not a bet I would take.
Damn.
No, because, that's part of it. You're going to sink in.
And then they explode.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that thing is massive.
It is. Yeah, that's a big ass whale.
That's what you call it. Big ass whale.
What is the wildest thing you've witnessed at a bachelor or a bachelorette party? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Josh. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Hola.
So we're in Lexington, Kentucky, okay, and you can drink at these strip clubs over there. And this is probably like 20 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And so we're there partying. All right, we get
Once again, bedroom colors. Here are the
One of them
7
days.
words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
All right, Josh. No more brown words.
Sorry.
Yeah, we got you, man.
All right, I'm going to pretend my sister's in the room.
There you
go. All right, so we're in Lexington. We're partying up with these strippers at the strip club. And we end up taking a couple of them back to our hotel room, these two stripper friends. And we have a night with them. This is me and my buddy, and then we got some other buddies, but they're in different hotels and different rooms and stuff. So we're just partying with them all night. Well, these two fall in love. I mean, they are just absolutely in love. They fly to Vegas the next day.
Oh.
And get married.
Your buddy and the stripper.
The buddy and the stripper.
Are they still together?
No, they think they got an annulment in like a week or two or something like that. You know?
But they honestly got in a plane and flew to Vegas the next day.
Yes, there is a bit of cocaine and other drugs involved, so I have a little influence on it. But I mean, we're like 21 years old, man. We're climbing cell phone towers. You know, we're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So he just had to add it to his list. But yeah, it was pretty little funny little thing that went on there.
Now, did you know he was going?
Fun, though.
Did you know he was going to Vegas, or did he get back and tell you what he'd done?
No, he wanted me to go with him. He ended up taking another guy from the crew and flying over there to be his best man. I was like, I'm not going, man.
I already know this is
here. I can see what's going to happen with this.
Yeah, you were right. Wow, man. Damn. That was some good sex that night.
What is
I
wildest
need to marry
thing?
you.
I know. That is some.
I want to marry that.
That's some smack stuff. Right
Wow, and also, I mean, like, you can do it with booze, especially in introduced drugs. So you're sitting up all night talking to some hot chick, like, oh my God, I feel the same exact way. Or like this or that. Yeah, like, right? It's like by the time they finally sobered up, it's like,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah, like, we got nothing in common. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like meeting a hot stripper, and she's like, I love the Seahawks. You're like, yeah, let's get married.
Who Sucks Last coming up, and we got your emails on the way from the men's room at KISW.com next.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
Recess Mood is a delicious, sparkling water infused with functional ingredients like mood-lifting magnesium and stress-balancing adaptogens, so you can relax without the alcohol or the hangover. It's the perfect drink to relax with after a busy day. when you really need a moment to unwind. It's made with real fruit and comes in 4 true-to-fruit flavors like strawberry rose and raspberry lemon with no added sugar. Get 15% off the Recess Mood Sampler Pack at takearecess.com/mood. That's takearecess.com/mood.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
yada yada.
And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Who Sucks Less on the way, but first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
On the bachelor party tip, booze, buds, and bitches, guys. I was at a friend's bachelor party, and the groom, we'll call him Derek, got completely S-faced, as he should. But Derek disappeared at this bar and no one could find him. So I checked the bathroom and found him. He was hiding in a stall, and after bringing him some water and giving him a pep talk, Coach Ted style, I convinced him to come back out and stop being a damn ninny. Then in short order, he walked over to a life-size cardboard cutout of Darth Vader and proceeded to make out with it. I'm talking tongue all over Vader's face. He looked like he was trying to suck the mask off of him, and it wasn't a quick couple of French kisses. I had enough time, even in my inebriated state, to find my phone and get a long video. Even got handsy into it, was groping Vader's dark side. Not sure what compelled him to do that. He did not remember doing any of it the next day, even after watching the video. I guess he just needed to get one more piece of action there before getting married. Always good times when you're with good friends. That from Pork.
That kind of happened to me. I've definitely woke up in compromising position photo-wise with a blow-up doll. Like, same thing. Like,
yeah.
Like,
did they put it there?
Yes. I was already kind of toasted. I laid down a little bit earlier. The doll ended up there, and kind of like if you were cuddling. Yeah. Some things ended up some places. That picture was not good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, granted, I'm in my early 20s, but revert back. You're cuddling with somebody, and it's just like, yeah. Just like, Jesus.
Does it show up on, like, Facebook memories? Hey, this was 8 years ago.
No,
like, cool.
You know, the nice thing is those were Polaroids, because this was early 2000s, so those photos are gone.
Right.
I mean, in the end, I just look like a jackass. It's not like I'm cheating on anybody, or I don't even think I had a girlfriend.
Is it cheating if you have sex with the blow-up doll? You know, if you had sex with someone else, like, well, sort of. It's a plastic, because I'm assuming it's one of those cheap plastic
Oh,
ones.
yeah, the awful one.
Right. So, like, babe, I had sex with this. Is that okay?
Guys, can I get a birthday shout out to my son James on his 26th trip around the sun? How about a big old bong rip, a fart, a fish sandwich, and a little turtle sex? Oh, thanks, guys. Lots of love. That from Mom and from Dad.
2 hour get a fish sandwich?
Pacholos, would you awesome gents please wish my coworker Michelle a super duper happy birthday? I really appreciate some naughty sound effects if you could. And the Dirty German's talking about all the fun things that she can do on her vacation next week. Thanks so much. You guys rock my socks off. That from Christina in Auburn.
Uh-oh, look out.
Yeah, for your birthday. If you're going to go on a vacation, why don't you change it to a laycation? Just spread your legs and get it.
Yeah, I was wondering on the age of this one, so I would say if you're younger, get loose. If you're older, start a cougar attack.
Yeah, I was attacked by a cougar.
Yeah, how old is this person?
Does not say.
I know, that's the issue.
She's still naughty.
I'm just saying, if somebody says, give me birthday advice, like, my first question is going to be, how old's the person?
That's it.
That goes a long way.
Guys, today's my 55th birthday. There you go. I'm sending a shout out to myself. Been listening to you guys for years, and today we got samples of the new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. I actually work for the company that runs the galleys on the ferries.
Nice.
I'll be enjoying it after work and give my review to the boss. Can I please get a dude, what the hell is that, bro? Mike do his butter magic as well. Thanks, guys. That from Monica in Silverdale.
Betty bought some butter, but she said it's butter bitter. If I put it in my batter, make my batter better. So she bought a better butter, put it in her bitter batter, made her bitter better. So it's better. Betty bought a butter. What else
I'm having a stroke.
That's right.
Oh my God! What the is that, bro?
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you!
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you all, but of course, the big party happening Friday. Black Raven Brewery and Tap House in Woodinville, broadcasting live. The show from 2 till 6, absolutely free.
Damn right.
Please stop by.
We would not charge you to listen to this crap.
No, we would not. We never have.
And there's a reason for that.
Exactly.
It's not worth paying for.
Exactly. I'll stop by and try the brand new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing on tap. All of their fine beers in just an incredibly beautiful facility.
Yeah, man.
Up in Woodinville. Again, it's absolutely free. Be a part of the show from 2 until 6. We do have some updates here. If you're looking for the beer, just remember, if you go to your favorite grocer, convenience store, whatever, look for the bright yellow can, but we do have some updates.
There we go. We just got one on Twitter.
What do we got?
Men's Room IPA, Bainbridge Island Safeway.
All right, Bainbridge.
Shout out to Bainbridge.
Yeah, carrying the IPA.
This is really good news. Guys, just purchased the Men's Room IPA beer brats in Tacoma from Uli's at the Central Co-op on North 46th and Pearl Street. Again, we have not seen the sausage.
Right.
We have not tasted the sausage. This is the first sighting that we've seen. Basically, what it came down to is this. When we had Uli do our sausage for the first time, it was the Men's Room original sausage. That had the Men's Room red in it.
Right.
Yep. From way back in the day. Well, with the new beer, why not put the new beer in a different sausage? So we present to you the Men's Room Beer Brat from Uli's world famous sausages, and it's out there. I'm going to grill them up later and pair them with a Men's Room IPA. Sounds like a good evening for me.
Yes, it does.
Best to you and the crew. That from our buddy Roberts, who's down at University Place.
I'm so excited to eat that beer brat.
I am too, man. And that guy Robert sent us a picture of the packaging. It just looks good.
Yeah. It's Uli. You know it's going to be good no matter what you get from Uli.
Yeah, and again, before Uli ever did anything with the beer, like when my mother would come to town, we would go to his shop and always get sausages.
Yep. It's Pike Place Market, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Guys, it's an off-day beer and wine in the 6th Avenue District. Here in Tacoma. Cans only, but I'll get it on tap when I have room. Come on down to T-Town for 1 or 2. Cheers, guys. That from our buddy Matt Coppins.
Nice.
Open up a bar, Matt. Shoot me the name of that bar again, man. I'll give you guys some love.
He opened a bar?
When you get to,
It's in the email.
Not the actual name of the bar that he has. He just said where he got the beer from. In case.
Off Day Beer and Wine.
Off Day Beer and Wine.
Oh, is that the name of his place?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you. Cans only. All right, I see what you're doing here, Matt.
I did not realize that he opened a bar. We used to work with this guy years ago. Man, he's been a fan of the show, contacts us frequently. I did not know that he opened his own bar. Good on you, bro.
We're going to come down there and drink for free, bro. Really appreciate it.
Whether you know it or not.
Guys, I found the Men's Room IPA at the local Boys Tap Room in Purdy, Washington. That from Paul the OT. Where is Purdy, Washington?
It's real Purdy.
You know where Purdy is?
That's out Highway 16 out there beyond Gig Harbor.
Oh, that's awfully Purdy.
Ted, you know any bars in Purdy, Washington?
There's not much out in Purdy, to be honest.
I gotta be honest. That's even a small town.
How far away from Gig Harbor?
I would call my bar the Purdy Mouth.
Honestly, not terribly far. You go out Highway 16, Gig Harbor's like one of the first places that you hit. I'm going to say it's 5 miles.
Oh, that's not bad.
Hit up Hackers down there. That's a good bar with good food. Let's see. Old gentleman just found the new men's room ale at the Huntington Beach Grocer on Camino Island. Awesome new beer, guys. Thanks. Old gentleman, the men's room IPA is at the Bevmo in Tacoma, and it's delicious.
Nice.
And I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to text, but guys, they have the men's room IPA at Safeway in Arlington. There's more. Guys, this is a bad idea, too, by the way. The Trickler here. The men's room IPA, believe it or not, is not in New York. It may never get here, but the Trickler has a plan. Okay. My buddy Ray bought, and listen to this closely, a 1967 Ford Fairlane station wagon somewhere in Washington State. Again, a 1967 Ford Fairlane station wagon. The motor and transmission out of the car are here in New York. Ray is getting the motor running. He's checking out the transmission, then shipping all of that back to Washington. Soon after, he's flying out, putting said station wagon back together, and then driving it home to New York. Ambitious endeavor for sure. Seemed like there's quite a bit of room for him to bring back some men's room IPA.
Yes, there is.
That from the Trickler. I don't know if it's a good idea to take a 1967 anything.
Across the country?
Across the country.
He's a mechanic. He'll be fine.
That to me sounds like a recipe for disaster, as far as I would ship the entire car back.
By the way, just people letting us know, there's lots of bars in Purdy. That is good to know. Men's room IPA available at the 7-Eleven at Green Lake. Good on you, Green Lake.
Nice.
All those healthy people jogging around. Grab yourself a beer, and then someone here says, hey, if you're too drunk to get more beer, you can get the men's room IPA through Instacart.
Is that right?
I like that.
Okay, very good. Speaking of drinking, coming up, we will drink it. Tell us with a shot of the day. But first.
Now, the men's room wants to know who sucks less?
Yay, time for Who Sucks Less. Team to throw who you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed, and let's just get started. And as they say, to be an astute criminal these days, it's probably good to have a strong recollection of Hollywood's classic films. Well, 2 women in Ohio, they've been arrested after they pulled a weekend at Bernie's a couple of weeks ago. They propped an 80-year-old dead man up in their car, then went to a bank's drive-thru where they withdrew $900 from his account, and it actually worked. They were not relatives, but they did live with the man. Now, the bank had previously allowed them to take money out as long as he was with them. So they clearly did not notice that the guy was no longer alive. They just looked through the window. They see him in the car. Well, they go ahead. The women then dumped the man's body off at a hospital, and they sped off. Well, eventually, the cops did catch up with them, questioned them, and then arrested them. They both have rap sheets that include theft and drug offenses. One's been convicted of reckless assault. Now, they told police they found the man dead inside the home earlier that day, but his cause of death is still under investigation. So they drove with the corpse so that they could withdraw money from his account because the bank had the agreement that, hey, if we see him with you, you can do it. For $900. $900.
Probably all he had left.
Now we go to Georgia, where 2 men, this story to me is insane, because it is. 2 Georgia men, they're accused of setting off a bomb at a woman's home and then plotting to release a python to eat her daughter. Yes, you heard me correctly. They set off a bomb in the woman's home and then plotted to release a python to eat the woman's daughter. So authorities say 34-year-old Caleb Kinsey and 37-year-old Stephen Glosser, they conspired to harass, intimidate, injure, or kill the woman who owned the house. Now, Glosser and the victim met on a dating app, but their relationship eventually went south, so they decided to block each other. But that's when his buddy Kinsey got involved. So the men, they planned to shoot arrows into the victim's front door, mail her dog poop or dead rats, scalp her head, blow up the home, and then release a large python to eat her daughter. So Glosser found the victim's home and built an explosive device along with Kinsey using tannerite. Tannerite is the brand of firearm target designed to explode when struck by a bullet. The 2 of them used the device to blow up the woman's house. And a witness told investigators they saw a black SUV leaving the scene, which was determined to be Kinsey's car. Police, well, they got a search warrant for Kinsey and Glosser's home and their phones. And authorities then found evidence of explosives and Glosser's journal. So the men have been indicted on a slew of charges, including, but not limited to, unlawful possession of an explosive, first-degree arson, stalking, use of an explosive to commit another felony offense, conspiracy to use an explosive to commit a felony, possession of an unregistered destructive device. Now, prosecutors said the conspiracy charge carries a penalty of up to 20 years in prison, and using an explosive to commit the felony, that adds another 10 years. Meanwhile, Kinsey also faces additional weapons charges. The good news is, in spite of all of this and her big detailed plan, they did not kill the woman. Her daughter was not eaten by a python. So they went through all of this.
They were not in the house, so they made it out okay.
They were not in the house.
Okay, thank God.
So they set it up. They did blow up her house, and they had a python on them. But, yeah, the daughter and the woman who owned the house, they are fine. That's the good news. Now we have a guy who's working solo. This man down in Florida, he's posed as both a car salesman and a paralegal. And he scammed 3 people out of about $21,000. Jesus Lopez, he was arrested and charged on theft of property, enhanced theft of property, and 2 warrants, one out of Austin, another one out of Gaines County. So as far as being a fake car salesman, back in May of last year, he impersonated a salesperson at a small car dealership and requested $1,500 from a customer for a Chevy Impala. Now, the victim reported to police, and after some time, they went back to the dealership and spoke with the owner, who informed them Lopez did not work there. Now, as far as being the paralegal, in August of that year, a person seeking a divorce lawyer met with Lopez at a Burger King. That should be a warning sign right there. But anyway, Lopez told the person he worked at a local law firm and requested $500 to initiate divorce proceedings. 2 days later, the same person met with Lopez again at the same Burger King, where he requested an extra $2,500 to continue with the divorce. 2 weeks after that, the same person met with Lopez again, but this time Lopez requested an additional $2,500 for, quote, legal services. And then he later requested $800 from the victim. Now, the divorce-seeking victim gave Lopez a total of $6,300 for false services, but he was not done yet. No, in February of this year, the victim went to the Mission Police Department to file a report against Lopez, and during this time, Lopez agreed to meet with them again to return the money, but he never showed up. The victim provided screenshots of the conversation with Lopez to the police. Then he has the fake jail bail incident. He met with a third victim who was trying to bail her son out of jail, so Lopez met with the woman at her residence. He again impersonated a paralegal and said he worked at a local law firm. He requested $6,700 to bail the woman's son out of jail. Well, he met with the victim again and said her son could not be released from jail due to, quote, citations. But he requested an extra $1,100 for the citations and $600 to release the car from the impound lot. Additionally, he met the victim at a later date and said he'd acquired a job for her son, but he charged the woman an additional $180 to buy uniforms for this supposed job. That victim paid Lopez an extra $5,000 to help get her son out of jail. The third victim gave Lopez a total of $13,612. Anyway, they finally arrested him this past Friday at an apartment complex. He was arraigned and issued a total bond of $155,000. Wow. Yeah, he was in it to win it. So, again, we have the 2 women whose elderly roommate died, and they put his ass in the car so they could go to the bank and withdraw $900. By the way, they're not responsible for killing him, they don't believe, but they took advantage of him being dead. We have the 2 men in Georgia that wanted to blow up a house and release a python to eat the woman's daughter. And finally, this guy that posed as a car salesman and a paralegal.
I mean, I think trying to set off a bomb to blow up a woman's home and they put a python in there to eat her daughter?
That was the plan, Ted, yes.
That seems to me to be the worst.
I would agree.
Pretty bad. Also, if they were going to blow it up and then put the snake in there?
Hey, man, this was their plan. I'm just telling you what they reported, their idea.
I don't know snakes, but I almost feel like the python would not hang out in the burned out, bombed out house. Like, that's just a bad
How
plan.
old's it? And how big's the kid?
I don't know the kid's age. I have no idea. No idea, man.
I mean, the man posing as the car salesman paralegal, that is bad and a scam. But honestly, I'm going with the women that pulled the weekend of Bernie's.
Me too.
And, you know, $900. And I get what Miles is saying. If he's elderly, he's living with these 2 women who are not related to him.
They're not related, right.
Yeah, it's like he was probably already a little down on his luck and living on, probably.
They already scammed him while he's alive.
Yeah,
I would assume because
living off Social Security.
They know those rules that they can take to the bank. So I'm sure they took a cut of his money or whatever, too. It wasn't the first time it happened, but the fact that it happened after he passed on, it's $900.
Yeah, they only did it once when he was dead, but I'm sure they did it plenty when he was alive.
Exactly. So I would agree with you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. That's down on your luck, but it's like,
Only because he was already dead. They had nothing to do with the death. Still messed up, but I do think they suck less than the other two.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you follow KISW on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. All right, coming up, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tacovas. Comfortable right out of the box and available in dozens of timeless men's and women's styles. Their handcrafted boots are ready to put the world at your heels. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tacovas delivers both right to your door. Visit Tacovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up in minutes, we'll drink a toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. We're seeing a resurgence of people tanning. Apparently it went away for a little while because people talked about the healthy generation when it comes to tanning and all the issues and complications, but people started realizing, like, I'd rather just not be pasty. So tanning is back.
I mean, you're looking at me, I'm like, hey, do what you gotta do, bro.
Have you ever been in a tanning bed, Steve?
No.
Apparently it's just also relaxing. Just helps open up the pores and whatnot.
I'm sure you hate to admit it, but it is.
Right?
Yeah, especially in the wintertime when it's just piss and rain. You go in there for 5 minutes, you're like, I feel good.
God, we should do that. We just have you jump into a tanning bed.
I'm going to open Brothers Tanning Salon. Brothers only.
It's not ultraviolet, it's just like a white light.
And don't worry, we got cocoa butter for you. We won't make you ashy. Just going to relax you.
No. Didn't you say when you were in Miami, some black dude was giving you crap, and you're like, I'm from Seattle.
Yeah, seriously, man. Like, the heat darkens everyone. So if you talk about white people in Florida, they're always tan because the sun's up. But the brothers are, like, dark. So I'm there with my wife, man, and this brother rolls up and says, where are you from, man? Just somewhere up north. I'm like, how'd you know? I'm like, I'm from Seattle. He's like, brother, because you're brown. I'm like, oh.
You're not black
and
enough,
then when
man.
you look around, I'm like, it's like being in Haiti. I'm like, God damn, you are getting... Then I could not notice.
Oh, God.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, seriously.
It's not like your parents are mixed.
No. But, I mean, he was straight up like, you're from somewhere up north, man. There's no way you're from Florida. How'd you know? He's like, you're brown. Miles, what did you say some little kid asked you? If you're from Alaska or something?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're so pasty.
I just came straight from here, went to Florida, probably like in February, March this time. I mean, I'm just white, but I'm wearing shorts, and everybody. I mean, it's really noticeable.
Sure.
When you go to Florida, you realize, like, pigmentation, it's a thing.
It exists.
I mean, the sun does do its thing.
Indeed.
You know? If you don't have it, you're pretty pale, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's same thing you go to spring training. Like, what was I talking about the other day? Every time I've been to Scottsdale in March, I have gotten sunburned.
Yes.
And it's like... Yeah, like you could tell who just came down from Seattle. We're watching M's game.
Look at all the pasty folks from Seattle. Look at there. LaGuardia has just been ranked as the best mid-sized airport in the U.S.
Which is crazy. Growing up, man, that airport, it was the butt of jokes. Not that there's a ton of airport jokes, but if you were going to make a joke about an airport, LaGuardia was the airport.
Well, and having been on this coast, even the headline said, once a laughingstock, LaGuardia, the mid-sized airport in the U.S. It's like, how is an airport the laughingstock? And that's,
I mean, it's hard to explain, but it's kind of, people looked at LaGuardia the way most people feel about Spirit Airlines. I've never been on Spirit. I don't know how bad it could be, but inevitably, if you're going to make that joke, Spirit's probably going to be the butt of it. That was LaGuardia, the Spirit Airlines of the airport world.
Damn.
Which is not a glowing endorsement.
No, an entire airport getting that. Like
the whole thing.
You were just a cacophony of calamity.
I've flown into some weird ones back in the day where I was like, this is crazy. I cannot believe this is an airport.
Do you have any of them that come top to mind as far as your weird airport experiences?
Montego Bay.
Montego Bay Airport.
Montego Bay. Old warehouse. People have crates of livestock. That they take to other islands as far as the puddle jumpers. The different areas. So, you got a guy sitting on a box of 10 chickens. All the cops have machine guns.
Damn.
All the guys outside are smoking weed before they go in the airport because you can technically smoke it outside, but you couldn't smoke it inside. I mean, you technically can't smoke it anywhere, but now you can. But at that point in time, you could not. And basically, there were no seats. So everyone was sitting on the floor. At the gate.
Sounds comfortable.
Well, that's why you need a crate of chickens.
It really was. When I say
I got the chicken.
It was an airport hangar. You were in a hangar.
Right.
You know what?
Damn.
Where they should have been pulling planes in. That was the actual terminal.
My problem is when I start flying across the country and to different places, I am so used to SeaTac security and TSA that I usually get the first flight out on Sunday morning, and then, if I have like a 7 a.m. flight that's leaving out of there, like, I'll go to get to the airport at 5 a.m. But when you're flying out of like Raleigh, North Carolina,
you don't.
No. Greensboro, really North Carolina, you can stroll in 5 minutes before the flight.
Dude, I did it in Vegas.
No kidding.
Right, because Alaska, there's 2 terminals, right?
Correct.
So the Alaska flights that usually I take are in this other terminal that I didn't realize doesn't get as busy. But they were like, oh, post-race, it's going to be so busy, blah, blah, blah. So I got there, so
3
early.
hours early, right?
Yeah, I had 2 beers and an omelet and got on an earlier flight.
Nice work,
I would say the airport that surprises me most is the Philadelphia airport. This is a busy-ass airport. We fly out of there at Christmas, Thanksgiving. You still get to that line. The line's a mile long. They just don't F around.
Nice.
Sir, then get out of line. If you don't know, and they will drag your ass out there. So, I mean, literally, they're yelling at you. Mm-hmm. You know the rules, do the thing. So they're not going to argue with you. They don't fight. But, I mean, you zip through there, man, and I appreciate it.
I'll be honest with you.
We do,
the nicest airport, as far as convenience and everything else, if you can get a flight going where you want to go, in the country, anywhere that I've ever been in, is Payne Field in Everett.
Payne.
That's what I keep hearing.
Still have yet to fly
down the best airport in this country, without question, as far as what they do, the efficiency of it, how easy it is to park, how easy it is to get through security, how just relaxing it is. Sit at the bar, get a beverage, you just walk right on your plane and get the F out of there. You don't have to taxi and wait for other planes. Once you get on that runway, you own it.
Off you go.
I got it. I'm with Thrill. I've been through Philly. It was fine, but you get through it. But also Dulles.
Yeah.
It's a massive international airport, but I have been in lines there that are massive. And it's still like 15, 20 minutes.
It does not take long.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because it's no nonsense and it's efficient. It's funny, we're talking about Spirit Airlines.
It's amazing or just SeaTac. What are you doing?
I think it's a little bit of both.
We just have this wall that you have to cross.
It says, I flew on Spirit Airlines to Vegas around Halloween several years ago. It literally felt like I was sitting on a school bus with wings. I would rather dumpster dive than fly on Spirit Airlines.
Damn.
Someone else. Spirit Airlines charges you literally for everything. I've heard that. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a coin slot on the bathroom. I've flown Spirit before. They're nothing compared to Ryanair in Europe. Spirit is practically Emirates compared to Ryanair.
No. Researchers with the University of Pittsburgh have developed an app that can detect ear infections in your children.
That's good. I used to get a ton of those when I was a kid.
About to say, I don't know how you guys did with your kids or if you even remember, but I got a lot of them when I was a kid. I remember that.
I did not get them. I can't remember if it was my son or my daughter now. One of them got one once, and that was it.
Also, kids swim. I don't care if it's 40 degrees outside. If there's a pool, kids getting in it. If you go to a hotel, you're never getting in that indoor pool. You might get in the hot tub, but you're never getting in the pool. Kids will spend 3 hours in there.
Yes, they will.
So as far as an ear infection goes, they're going to be more prone than anybody.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's one thing that the older generation says about the younger generation? They don't have the manners, right? They're not behaving properly. In fact, there's an entire list of manners that we all need to be following.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 old-fashioned manners that show you were raised right. Like holding the door for someone. I'm generally a decent person regardless of my disposition, so I'm apt to hold the door for just about anyone. However, if you were the crazy behind the eyes, double-stacked, chemically enhanced blonde that was walking out of the building earlier today and I held the door for you, I'm just curious if you prefer leather in the form of a crop or cat of nine tails for your victims. Color me intrigued.
He's not kidding. I was with him when this woman walked out.
Oh, no.
And look, she was very nice. She even said thank you, but as soon as she walked by, we looked at each other and I said, man, that's like 40 gallons of crazy in a 10-gallon bucket. You could just see it on her face. Like, wow.
She's nuts. So these are old-fashioned manners that show that you were raised right. Addressing someone as sir or ma'am is a simple courtesy when you don't know their name, which I feel like most people do.
Some people don't like it just based on the dating of their age.
It does, which I've never understood.
I've always been told yes or no, ma'am, growing up, no matter who it is. If someone's older than me, that's the way you address it. So it's kind of a hard habit to break, and I realize that not everyone likes it.
Not everyone likes it, but you're not being rude, right? I mean, it's a world of difference.
And if you use it as a term of respect as opposed to an elder,
Sure.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I still do it.
I do it all the time.
If somebody's providing a service or whatever, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the Uber drivers are obviously younger than I am, but I'll still be like, thanks, sir.
It does not matter the age. I'll still do it.
Saying hi when you walk past someone in a rural or suburban sidewalk when you're walking by somebody. Exactly.
When we were in upstate New York, I'm a kid when we lived there. It was a little more rural where we were, and certainly everyone spoke to each other. We moved to Baltimore. That's not the thing to do.
Apparently.
It really is not.
Man, it bugged the living crap out of me when I was, living over there. When I was walking with my wife, we'd be walking the dog, and somebody's just walking down the street. And I made no bones about it. Hey, good morning to you.
They don't say a word.
Stone-faced, like I asked him for $100. And I would look at my wife like, I guess I'm just not here. She's like, stop it. You just knock it off.
When you leave Seattle, and people know this who live there, you got to get used to that. Because if you were used to it and you lived here for a while, you become desensitized to it because no one says a word.
Nope.
So then when you go someplace else, you're like, oh yeah.
That's one of the things I told my kids when we went to the
on
East
the
Coast.
elevator, say hi because they're going to say hi to you first. So,
and it's a uniquely American thing.
It is definitely.
Like Europeans even talk about it. They're like, it is nice how friendly you guys are.
Giving up seats on the subway, train, or bus for elderly women. Men?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it even says it on the freaking thing.
And even then, it shouldn't need to say it on the doggone thing.
Shouldn't need to say it.
If an elder jumps on the bus, if a lady jumps on the bus, get up off the seat.
It's funny because for all the violence in Baltimore and everything else you hear about it, if you were on the bus and you're one of those handicapped seats or elderly person gets on, if you didn't get up, man, everyone on that bus would threaten to beat your ass. Seriously. Hey,
get
your ass up, mother.
Yeah, I mean, first 7 feet of the bus aren't yours.
That's right. That is a fact.
I would say, too, generally you're not going to do it for somebody, guy your age.
No.
But the dude's got a kid. I'll hop up. All right, you guys can take the seat.
Say thank you when somebody holds the door open for you.
Yes.
That would be nice.
And when they let you into traffic.
Just a little hand
thing.
thing.
Sorry.
Hold that thought, Ted. Hold that thought. Again, these are
old driver Ted's pissed off, Mike.
How are you? Old-fashioned manners that show that you were raised right. Chewing with your mouth closed and not talking with a mouthful of food. This person says it baffles me how many shameless smacks spit and just crunch away their mouth wide open.
Everyone I know does that as a senior.
Really?
I don't know. I have kids. They never did that. They were taught not to do it, and they stopped, right? It's always my mom. Or, I'm not kidding you. Or someone who's older than mother-in-laws. People like that. People my age.
As an example, mother-in-law.
I mean, I'm 54 years old. Right. People that are the same age, I'm just like, dude.
They go with polite interruptions. This person says, my worst is when people can't say, excuse me. I commute by a train and people cannot just say, excuse me, please, when trying to get past you.
It's like putting on your blinker. You can't figure out why a car won't let you in. Put on your blinker, and then you'll see they make an adjustment.
Correct.
You're trying to walk by someone. If you just say, excuse me, 99% of the time, they'll make room for you.
Right.
It's really
and then
hard.
For whatever reason, I run into the one person that I'm trying to get by, and I tend to put the gentle hand on the shoulder. Pardon me. And they just stand there like, Okay, now I'm going to make you spill your drink.
Yeah,
Get the hell out of my way.
Yeah, I think, right, always say excuse me when you're walking by somebody. And then I mean, look, you can't help it. Sometimes you're in the way, too.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like sometimes somebody will apologize first. It's like, no, that's my bad. Right? I'm just kind of not paying attention.
This one is burned into my brain, but removing of the hat at the dinner table.
I do that. I do that. I will not.
Not at a bar, but if I'm at a table.
Yeah, not at a bar top. But or two top at a bar. But if I go and sit down in an actual seat or booth, yes, I take my hat.
I have forgotten my hat in places because
you took it off.
My move is I always take it off and I'll cup it over my knee as I then move my chair in, and then from time to time I'll get up and I will drop the hat. Like I cannot, even at a bar, Miles, I cannot sit at a bar with a hat on.
I tried that move at Red Robin, and when part of my burger exploded and landed on my hat and ruined my hat, I said, okay, no more. So now what I do, the only time I'm in that situation, I'm with the wife.
Okay.
So wherever she puts her purse, I put my hat on top of it.
Way
I know she won't forget to remind me that I forgot.
Actually, I'm with you. Like, I'm with Miles. Like, not in the bar, not at a bar. And also kind of depends. If it's like a bar/restaurant, like a sports bar, even if I'm sitting in the table, I might not.
Yeah, and I can understand
that. Depends.
It's burned into my brain to where every time I sit down at a table, I
feel like that.
You do it at the bar all the time when I'm with you. And I'm always like, dude, we're at the bar.
I do take my hat off more than not at a bar still.
I don't. And I also feel like if you have TVs on the wall, I can wear my hat.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's kind of like, I know it's a restaurant, but like you're showing sports, like you said, Ted, or whatever. Like,
it's just muscle memory for me.
Yeah, and you're right, because I think I was in a bar recently that didn't have TVs. It was more like a pub.
Yeah.
And for some reason, you're right, I took my hat off there.
It doesn't feel like TVs say, chill out, relax.
The thank you wave. The thank you wave when letting someone in whilst driving or crossing the road.
Oh, the worst is the single lane streets in Seattle where you can park on both sides.
Sure.
You're in a neighborhood, but there's really only one lane for people to go down.
Correct.
And I pull over and I wait for that person to come through so that they can go by, because obviously there's nowhere to go. And when they go by, they don't wave to thank me for pulling over to the side to let them go, even though I waited 15, 20 minutes. It seems like forever for them to just crawl down the road. And at the end, I'm like, you ass.
Final honorable mentions here of the old-fashioned manners that show that you were raised right: standing up to greet somebody. When dropping a woman off after a date, make sure that she gets inside the door before you pull away. I'll do that to all my friends. If I'm dropping you off, I make sure that the door is open.
I do with the ladies.
Stand up to greet people.
Yes.
That one drives me up a damn wall.
Right. If you're going to shake somebody's hand, get up off your ass.
Yeah, if you're going to stand up, sure.
Making plans, as in ahead of time, like a date. People have stuff to do. They've made plans. Make a plan if you're going to go hang out. Don't just drop in on somebody. Even if you do, don't expect to be accepted. Don't guilt them into accepting you.
Sure.
Pushing your chair back under the table after you've done. I drive my wife nuts with that one.
Really?
I do.
Just push it back in. Do you not do it, or you do it?
I don't do it.
You don't do it. Come on, Mike.
But now that again,
you're going to take your hat off, push you got all the manners in the world. Just push
I will do it at
chair.
restaurants.
Okay.
I will do it at restaurants. At our own house, the Bugs Live in Daylights had it. But the number one old-fashioned manner that shows that you were raised right when talking about RSVPs. When someone asks for one, you should have the courtesy to reply and then follow what you replied with. If you said you were going to be there, be there. If you said you're not going to be there, don't come. And it's not because it's not any kind of a show of friendship or anything like that.
It means the person needs a head count for whatever the event is.
I need to know how many people are showing up. If I expect 30 people, I'm going to get drinks for 30 people. If 50 show up, we're going to run dry. Everybody's going to be pissed, doubly me so. And I'm going to start pouring drinks on people. A couple in New York City pulled off a burglary at a CVS, making off with $200 worth of product.
What did they steal?
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to have to tell you at 5:50, Miles.
All right, thank you, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. All right, if we manage to drinking time.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Inside every California avocado is a story. It's shaped by idyllic conditions, full of rich soil, gentle rain, and friendly California sunshine, where avocados flourish. Crafted with care by dedicated local farmers who are committed to responsible, sustainable growing. The best avocados have California in them. To understand why, all you have to do is open one up. In season now. Visit CaliforniaAvocado.com to learn more.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast country superstar Zach Bryan. Are you guys fans? Zach Bryan? I know you got a few. I've never heard you guys bring up Zach Bryan.
The ladies love him.
Okay.
I mean, he's a cool dude, right? He was in the Navy or whatever, but for some, he definitely, I feel like he has more female fans.
Okay, yeah, good for him.
He's more of a singer-songwriter as opposed to like
a country superstar, like rock star kind of thing. Okay, well, he's currently on his Quitting Time tour, and like every performer ever, particularly in a concert, of course, you ask the crowd, how are you all doing tonight? No one does it better than Paul Stanley, or subsequently, no one does it worse than Paul Stanley. Depends on your position.
He talks all show, though.
Well, he talks the whole show, but again, we've always said with Paul Stanley, how you doing, Seattle? I don't forget about you crazy people in Black Diamond. What's going on, Yakima? Like, he does this research, and he gives a shout-out. Well, Zach Bryan's not trying to do all that, so he just does
Also, I found out from doing a little research there, one of the reasons that Paul Stanley talks so much on stage is because KISS does so many different things behind the scenes in between songs.
He's buying the time.
There might be a situation where Gene Simmons is getting put in a strap to fly through the air or whatever. He needs to kill 35 seconds. So he kind of goes out there and does that so they can get set up for whatever's next, whether it's the guitar that shoots, fireworks or
fireballs out of it.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Well, he does your how you doing. And actually, in this case, he just said, quote, how's everyone feeling in Pittsburgh this evening? He was in Buffalo. And that is all.
Did you hear it?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to play the audio, but it's just kind of muddy.
He cusses a lot. It's just kind of funny. Like, I swear I know him in Buffalo.
We were in Pittsburgh last night, and then it's, damn it. But he did say he's done it one other time, and it was in Detroit, all right? And I don't know what city he said, hey, how you doing? But he said that at the Detroit show, Detroit being Detroit, 4 guys were waiting for him in the parking lot to beat him up.
Oh. Yeah. I saw a comedian down at EQC in Tacoma, and he went up there and he said, man, it's great to be back in Portland. Oh, yeah. Did not go over well.
Yeah, that's a bad feeling. Especially if it's a neighboring city, because for whatever reason,
there's always a rivalry,
dumb beef going on.
So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
A short can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, JP. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, JP, you understand how this here game is played?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, you got your choice of one of 3 categories. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did somebody find in their food? Interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And finally, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
Let's go with interior decorating.
All right, we go to Vietnam, where a man started experiencing throat discomfort and speaking with a hoarse voice. Wilbur. He discovered that he had something stuck in his throat. So they say, you ever wake up with a sore throat and a scratchy voice? Probably think you're getting a cold or something, right? Well, not this guy. So this guy's 53 years old. He was suffering these symptoms, and he thought that maybe he's just getting a cold until he started spitting blood, at which point he realized things were worse than they appeared. Now, at first, he tried identifying the cause himself by opening his mouth and looking in the mirror, but he couldn't see much apart from what looked like a brown mass in the upper part of his throat. The man panicked, immediately sought professional assistance. Now, that's how he learned that he had something unexpected stuck to his throat. When the man arrived at the hospital complaining of throat discomfort and occasionally spitting blood, doctors performed an endoscopy that revealed the object was lodged firmly to his throat, firmly below the glottis area near the trachea. Now, in this particular case, the patient told doctors he had sustained the injury to his hand while handling a mousetrap a month prior. Now, a fervent believer in the herbal medicine world, he went out, picked some medicinal plants, put them in his mouth, chewed them into a paste, and then applied it to his wound. What was that?
Sorry, what? Did you give me the option?
Hang on. So anyway, doctors believe that's a likely scenario that led to the throat issues. The question is, what did the man have lodged in his throat? Was it a plant root system? Was it a seed cluster? Was it a leech? Or was it a maggot? So plant roots, a seed cluster, a leech, or a maggot?
Let's go with plant cluster.
Where'd you say it was again?
Well, the root cluster or the seed cluster?
Oh, seed.
Okay.
Seed cluster.
Yes.
Yes.
This was in Vietnam time.
Oh, I'm going to go leeches.
I'm going to do plant root system. Like a chia pet.
There you go.
Thrown in the back of his throat. So what did this guy swallow and get jammed in his throat? Was it the plant root system, a seed cluster, a leech, or a magnet? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tacovas. Comfortable right out of the box and available in dozens of timeless men's and women's styles. Their handcrafted boots are ready to put the world at your heels. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tacovas delivers both right to your door. Visit Tacovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories: interior decorating on profile. Let's get a man in Vietnam. He had something stuck in his throat. Actually, he just had an irritation. So he went back to some herbal medications, whatever the
I know what was in there.
Kind of clumped it up and tried to help him to see if it would stop his throat from being in pain. But it got infected. He ended up going to a doctor. I believe they successfully removed whatever object was in there. The question was, what did he stick in his throat to try to cure his itch, so to speak? Was it a plant root system, a seed cluster, a leech, or a magnet?
And JP, that is the very question we posed to you, and you, my friend, went with the old seed cluster. Whoops. Hang on. Let me hurt your feelings the right way. No, it was not a seed cluster. Miles Montgomery, you went with the root system.
Root system. Cha-cha-cha-chia.
And Ted, you said, Vietnam, I'm going leech.
Yep.
He knows his Vietnamese leeches. Squirrels and Vietnamese leeches. Ted never shuts up about it. Why'd you just, like, as soon as I said Vietnam, you're like, oh, leech. No question in your mind.
I thought maybe he got some of the stuff out of like a rice patty.
He may have. I don't know what the plant was.
I don't know. I just think of like jungle rice patty. You know what I mean? It just seems like it's a little damp. It seems very leech friendly.
It is definitely leech friendly. And you're ripping leaves off of plants and chewing it. So, yeah, the leech was somewhere in his paste. They said the leech got, the reason he was having a hard time breathing and talking and everything else is that leech got real fat.
Yeah, because it's full blood.
And you can't see it to know that it's there to remove it. So,
exactly.
Yeah,
now, for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
The choices today. You got Stephen Colbert. The Jimmys.
Alan and Kimmel.
Seth Meyers. Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right, though. The title rights guys have talents and teams of writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Oh, Florida. You're so Florida all the time. I read that a man lost his hand in a pond after an alligator bit it off. And even worse, he didn't even get his golf ball back.
The Ted Smith. Colbert?
That was me. And I just said to Mike, I said, I wrote this joke in the style of Colbert. Then I said, the effing problem is Thrill watches Colbert.
I did not watch it last night.
Right.
The giveaway to me was just because you said golf. And I'm like, Miles plays golf all the time. I feel like there's some connection there.
The guy was fishing on that.
He was right. It had nothing to do with golf. That was a Happy Gilmore callback to Chubbs.
Oh, Chubbs!
That got his hand bit off by that damn gator.
So this guy catches the fish.
All right.
He reels it in. He brings it up waist high. He's trying to get the hook out of the fish's mouth. The crocodile, alligator in this instance, because it was a crocodile attack too.
Yeah.
The alligator leaps out of the water and grabs both his hand and the fish.
Yep.
Takes him into a death spiral. Neighbors are watching from the back, and they're calling 911 while he's in a roll with this alligator. And they're like, his hand's gone.
Yep.
He basically just took it off and took the fish and a hand.
I wouldn't be worried about the fish.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani secretly got married and revealed it in a surprise announcement to his Dodgers teammates and reporters. The announcement even caught his coach by surprise. Dodger manager Dave Roberts said, as far as finding wedding gifts, we got surprised. Don't have much time to think about it, but I'm sure it's en route. Sounds like somebody is scrambling for a wedding gift. I hope Ohtani and his wife enjoy their his and hers ice cream helmets.
Foul.
Kimmel?
Colbert.
LA Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani recently revealed that he is married in a surprise announcement. Now, Ohtani's announcement even caught his coach by surprise. Dodger manager Dave Roberts said, as far as wedding gifts, we got surprised. Didn't have much time to think about it. I'm sure it's en route. Sounds like somebody's scrambling for a wedding gift. I hope Ohtani and his wife enjoy their his and hers ice cream helmets.
It was a long joke. According to a new report, Boeing failed more than 1/3 of its FAA audits, and it's on its production process for the 737 MAX jet. So unlike their planes, they're totally screwed.
Myers.
Jesus, Fallon? That's Seth.
According to a new report, Boeing failed more than 1/3 of recent FAA audits on its production process for the 737 MAX jet. So unlike their planes, they are totally screwed.
This is wild. A 26-year-old just finished walking across the country from Washington State to Washington, D.C. He saw what was going on in planes in the news and said, yeah, I'm just going to walk.
Fallon? Myers.
That's Fallon.
Well, this is wild. A 26-year-old just finished walking across the entire country from Washington State to Washington, D.C. He saw what was going on with airplanes in the news and said, I'm just going to walk.
I forgot to tap you. We're done. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, so we're talking about in that one joke about Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers. Do you guys ever find it interesting when you see people from the music, especially like the rock world, that are really into sports? Because I saw an interview with Trujillo.
Bass player from Metallica. Yeah, Robert Trujillo.
No, the guy in the movies.
Danny Trejo, yeah.
And when you look at that guy, I only know him from being kind of a badass in movies and stuff. I just don't think Dodgers fan.
Right.
And he was doing a radio interview and they asked him and he was like real fired up about it. And I was like, man, that's cool. And it's kind of like frankly, when I think of Tool and Tool fans, I don't think massive sports people. But Danny Carey's pretty famous
for
the amount of sports jerseys he wears when he's playing drums in each city. Like, I know when he played here once, he had on like a Sonics jersey. He might have even had on a Husky basketball jersey once.
Yeah, he's a big sports. I just read today, I can't remember which country star it was, but they were born in South Carolina. They're a Carolina Panthers fan.
Oh, Luke Combs.
Luke Combs, okay. And he was just mad at the Panthers. Yeah. So, I mean, he even sent the tweet like, what the F are we doing? Blah, blah, blah.
Well,
and he's like, look, man.
For nothing. They gave him away.
He pointed that out.
That was part of his tweet.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And he's explaining. He goes, look, man, like, yeah, I'm a country guy, but it's like, I like the Panthers, and we're making terrible decisions. And he said, normally I try not to, just because his name carries a lot of weight, but he's like, I can't take it right now. They're taking the team.
And then people try to get on him because there's pictures of him in an Atlanta jersey. Now, I did not know if you're basically in the Carolinas. I guess you got to pick Carolina or
Falcons. Right?
Or Falcons. And he's like, well, I lost a bet. And two, like I was playing a show in Atlanta. Mike and I saw him in Seattle. He had on one of the old school Seahawks jerseys. I mean, he gave it away afterwards, but it's like, he is a Carolina Panthers fan through and through. Like, I don't think we have to get on him because when he's playing an NFL stadium, he wears the NFL jersey.
Well, and I feel like a lot of bands do that. I feel like when Motley Crue came around, they were out there in whatever local stadium's jersey they were on. I don't care who comes around. If they're in somebody's stadium, they're wearing the jersey of that stadium.
Because, and they're entertainers.
Right.
Like, and let them entertain. Like, I don't know. I don't actually think that Anthony Hopkins is a serial killer that eats people. But to entertain you, he did a good job. Then again, if you told me that he was, I would not be shocked.
Right, and part of like the tailgate tour that I go on with my brother is like usually we wear whatever gear we're wearing, right? Obviously, I'm a massive Maryland fan. I'm a Huskies fan, but like this year I went to 2 Husky games, or I went to a game in November in Austin. I have pictures of me in their stadium,
burnt orange,
horns up, right now. When they were playing them in the Sugar Bowl, horns down.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. I love that stuff. And there's some actors, too, who are so serious. And then you're just like, a football fan.
Yeah, they're screaming on the couch on Sunday just like the rest of us.
Yeah. I always enjoy that stuff. Speaking of sports, March Madness is coming up, all right? So this week you got conference tournaments. I was going to say, want to say like some of them already ended. Again, there's big ones coming up this weekend. I think maybe the Pac-12 or Pac-2, whatever you want to call
Whatever it is.
Traditionally, I think they do theirs like on Friday night in Vegas or something. I know Madison Square Garden for the Big East tournament. That's always a Saturday night kind of famous. And then Sunday you'll have, Big Ten, ACC, the other big conference.
And then how it's not very it only seems like a day or two before they already have the brackets set.
They'll set it Sunday.
That's what I'm saying.
So because most
the play-in's Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that.
The play-in will be correct. I think that'll be Tuesday. So the way the brackets work is that like they generally know who are going to be the top 4 seeds right now.
Sure.
But even say University of Maryland, who's a 12 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Now they took down mighty Rutgers today, but they're not getting into the NCAA tournament. Unless
they win their conference.
If you win your conference, you get an automatic bid. So that's why the selection show generally happens. It seems like maybe an hour or two on Sunday, right after whatever the last big conference championship game is. Then they're locking in that stuff.
Is it starting later this year, or is that just my imagination?
No, this is about normal.
Is it? Okay.
Because it usually ends in April.
Right.
The other thing that's thrown off a little bit this year is Easter's pretty early.
The 31st.
Correct. I feel like usually Easter is kind of in April.
Mm-hmm.
There's honestly, there's a very good video going around on the internet, and it's just some dude. I don't follow him yet, but he's like, women always ask, what do we do after football season? And he breaks it down great. And when you talk to this time of year though, and like it's like, well, we got March Madness. That's going to lead us into the Masters, right? Then it's like baseball's playing, and he's just like running down all this stuff. So yeah, traditionally it's like March Madness kind of ends in April. Then you'll have like the Masters, like a week or two later, and then I feel like Easter, because there's plenty of Masters Sundays. I know growing up, we would watch that while we were eating Easter dinner.
Then playoff hockey.
My family is psycho, isn't it?
It is.
I don't think about that stuff till I say it out loud. Like, oh man, that was a great year. The Masters were on.
Because you only know what you know, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you assume. That's what everybody does. You didn't watch the Masters with Easter dinner. Well, you don't know. You assume everyone is, right?
Yeah. And Easter dinner is usually when we switch from basketball to wiffle ball.
Yeah. Yes, very important details.
So March Madness. A study found that the average March Madness fan will dedicate a full day and a half of their life this year, 36 total hours. So that includes 3 hours filling out brackets, 13 hours watching games, 5 hours of highlights, 5 hours discussing it with friends and family. I'm going to up mine to probably 8 to 10 hours on that one.
Boy.
5 hours reading about it online, and 3 hours placing bets.
When you say it out loud, that sounds almost exactly like every March.
Yeah,
and it's vasectomy time.
I know. I really thought about doing it this year.
I kid you not, dude. Because this is also auction season is in February, March time, and we sold a vasectomy at one of the auctions that I did every year.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't evil. It wasn't like a help the kids benefit, was it?
It was the Boys and Girls Club of Ferndale.
Tired of taking them to practice?
They came with snacks, beer, a bag of peas. Like, this was a full package here.
They didn't call it the vasectomy chair, but Miles, you've had one, right? Don't you have to sit on a donut or something for a couple days?
No.
All right.
No, well, they pretty well just walk you out and tell you to ice it up.
There was a very famous wing place that I know for a few years was running a thing that each bar had like a specific chair that was supposed to be more cushioned or had a donut on it so you could sit there. Because everybody knows. I mean, I learned that, years ago, I think here, but it's like, right, it is the highest weekend for vasectomies because there's sports on the whole time.
Yep.
And it's a Thursday and Friday, cruising into a 4-dayer. 26% of people who are obsessed with March Madness have skipped work to watch a game before.
That actually seems low to me.
Yeah, like I took off 1 year as Maryland was playing out in Spokane. That's the other funny thing.
I remember that, yeah.
You don't really know where your team's going to end up, so you got to plan that trip quickly.
You do.
Yeah. 76% have a favorite team they're pulling for, and 30% plan to pick them to win the whole thing. So, I mean, that's optimistic. Now, granted, if you're a Kansas fan, Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really going out on a limb saying, I hope Kansas makes it this year. Like, Kansas traditional program, they're still very good. And also, I was going to say, that Thursday and Friday, too, like, I mean, like, granted, I went to an all-guys school. Like, teachers would bring TVs in.
They're not trying to miss it either, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth. My teacher's so cool. It's like, they're not doing this for you. Right. They are doing this for them. You happen to be there. Enjoy.
I needed more cool teachers then.
Yeah, that's also, I would have to think that's a busier lunch crowd for bars.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And there's a ton of jobs where you can go down and grab lunch and grab a couple beers. But, like, even that buddy that doesn't really do that with you at lunch, like, if you know, like, let's say he's a Husky or a Coug fan, it's like, hey, the Cougs are on at 2 p.m. Like,
he'll be there.
Yeah, he might be into running down to the bar and, you know, watching a little hoop and grabbing a beverage there with you. Let's see. Lionsgate is taking a couple of biggest movie franchises, turning them into TV shows. John Wick and Twilight.
Okay.
Not much known about either. The Twilight series is going to be animated. The John Wick franchise has already found its way on TV in the form of the prequel, the Continental, which
I was going to say, I know they've done
which
something.
is the hotel.
I feel like the Twilight's going to do better than the John Wick, just because John Wick's kind of like an isolated action flick. It's like making a Die Hard TV series, whereas the Twilight, I feel like it's just Vampire Diaries, isn't it?
I think Twilight, I mean, it's going to be for the kids, and I imagine it'll be soap opera-y. I think you can do the John Wick thing because the nature of it, you know, they're all hired assassins and stay at the Continental, the hotel. So just following them, doing their different, you know, because basically they're getting an assignment. It'll be their adventure to kill this person that they were told to kill. And I can watch that every week.
Yeah, I got to watch the other ones. I've watched the first one, which was awesome.
All right.
Helped me understand a lot of dog memes.
That's right. Yes.
But I know because what is there now, 4 of them?
4. And if you like the first one, you'll like all of them. The last one I thought was excellent.
All right. John Wick movies, by the way, have made more than $1 billion at the box office.
Okay.
The Twilight saga or movies, how much have they grossed at the box office?
I'm going to say $3 billion.
Is that a worldwide fame on that one?
Yeah,
I would assume so.
Yeah.
5.
And it's over 4 movies. Yeah, I'm with Miles. I'll go 6.
All right. Thrill was pretty damn close. 3.4 billion.
I can believe it. I mean, people started naming their children after.
They got to give some of that money to Forks.
I was about to say,
You know what I'm saying?
money, how much of that money did Forks rake in?
None.
Like, I get
They got a T-shirt shop.
They got all bugged out by the doggone tourism, and I get that. But other than that,
they get a cut of that pie, man.
Forks is now getting some traffic.
Open a bar in town.
Yes!
Something. Anything. Forks has nothing.
The Orange Truck Bar.
They got nothing.
They got that one diner thing.
Yeah. Good for Forks.
Yeah. I will say, yeah. That town was not what I was expecting.
No,
I was like, oh.
It's a light.
Yeah, like, this is Forks.
That's why everybody here was like, really? You put it in Forks? That's okay.
And she had never been there.
Off to a story. Here we go. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus, at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries. And in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Delaware, of all places, is going to offer deli-style marijuana stores.
Delaware.
Meanwhile, a Bay Area Leap Day baby celebrates a birthday, which is a lot older than yours. Turns out it's a real good idea to have a parachute on your plane. If you wield machetes in a grocery store, we all know you're insane. And two men try to steal $200 in paper towels. And now, a bounty has been issued. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
Miles just gave it away. We go to New York, where crime is getting cleaned up.
I already knew.
Authorities got a report that a pair of individuals had stormed into a local CVS and had taken $200 worth of product off the shelves, apparently looking like they had no intention of paying for it. When an employee told the two that they had to leave, one of the two of them pulled a knife on the employee before they made their escape on a local train. CVS is currently looking to recoup the losses after having $200 worth of bounty paper towels stolen from the location.
Why do you think they stole $200 worth of paper towels?
I'm not.
I mean, if you're going to shoplift, I just feel like that many paper towels is not.
It's just you're not going
Puerto Rican hurricane relief.
No. They have a seafood boil restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like, $200 in paper towels.
There's no official report that the men were found. However, someone snapped a shot of an officer arresting someone with a haul of stolen paper towels. The knife-wielding thief has not been arrested just yet.
Okay.
I will say, as far as stealing paper towels go, that's probably my number one.
What, bounty?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
You know, you got Brawny out there. You got the Kirkland brand. Bounty, I think, takes top.
For whatever reason. I don't know that it's the best, but like that's just the brand I know most.
Quilted Quicker Picker-Uppers.
Oh, that's right. It is a Quicker Picker-Upper.
It is indeed.
With 3.5 fluid ounces.
And apparently Quicker Picker offer of the shelf.
Yes.
Bam! See what I did there?
I was always a bounty guy until I turned into a Costco guy.
Yeah.
Costco brand guy.
In other news, down under, where riders aboard a train got a once-in-a-decade eyeful. There's a train that runs through the Northern Territory of Australia, known as the Ghan, I believe is how you say that, Ghan, the Ghan, which makes its way through the outskirts of a place called Darwin. Why it's once in every 10 years, I don't know, but it's once in every 10 years. This is the area in which 20 years ago, residents took it upon themselves to turn tail on the train and moon passengers as they chugged on by. Now, 20 years later, they've done it again, this time garnering some media coverage. If tradition continues, we should hear about this again in 2034. My guess is that we are going to. Likely, local coverage is going to say, it's that time again, just in case anybody wants to show their butt.
If you want to see, some asses on the train, this is the one for you.
And also, as far as pranks go, I like that one. That one's clean.
I think mooning is awesome.
It is. We need to bring back mooning.
Man, in my 20s, I don't know why, that was my go-to move.
It was. It was one of the greatest things, right? Just show your butt.
Early teens.
Yes.
Hell, the 20s. I mean, we were kids. That was the.
I do remember. Move. I'm 22 years old, and we're not quite a house party, but everyone just kind of ended up there, and we heard an ice cream truck or something was coming down the road. So me and two other dudes and one exceptionally hot woman decided we're going to run outside and moon this ice cream truck.
Nice.
And when we went out there, right, we all have we're facing the house to show our ass, and on the count of three, we're going to do it. And the other two guys, we just looked at her ass. I don't care about the ice cream truck, nothing. All of us are just that was so worth it.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Who's that, Luke? No. Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, that was very much what I thought.
I booby trap my wife all the time, and I just show her my ass from the corner. She'll come around the corner, and you remember that game from Waiting?
Yes.
I play that game with her all the time. Michael James.
Oh, you get the middle name.
I do. She laughs, which she shouldn't laugh that hard, but she laughs. To the lovely world of the internet, where one man has the place divided. In a clip uploaded to TikTok, come on, Mike, a self-proclaimed rich man, which kind of tells you something about this guy. Self-proclaimed rich man was giving an explanation as to why it was okay for him to use the handicap parking space at the store.
Interesting.
After coming under scrutiny, the man explained that he was going to be in the store for 2 minutes, and in that time he'd be inside the store. It's reasonable to believe that there wouldn't be any handicapped drivers needing the spot.
He's right.
This, of course,
but don't park there.
Led to a run of comments, both agreeing and disagreeing with his logic. Look, there's a handicap stall that I think gets more traffic than any other stall here in the bathroom because we can assume that there's not going to be anybody of handicapped nature trying to come in and use the bathroom. However, you're still the douchebag if somebody does show up and there's other spots that you could have taken. Right. I've been that guy.
And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I see the wheels under the crack in the door, and then they kind of wheel back, but they're waiting. Then I'm like, oh, man, it only sucks because I have to walk out. And I got mean mugged a little bit. And I'm like, hey, fair enough, man.
You know
fair
what?
enough.
And I'll be the bad guy here. Equal opportunity. Handicap gets one slot in the front, and then the rest are kind of interspersed so that they got to get there early to get the good spot. But then other times, man, you're just screwed. You get that middle spot that nobody else wants either.
It is weird, though. I think it's just averages. I'm not going to park in a handicapped spot.
Right.
But I almost exclusively use the handicap stall.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to lie, dude. There's been a handful of times like, I'm going to be in there for like a minute. There's 7 spots there. They are not going to fill up that fast.
Yeah.
I will say, I almost did it last night. There was a 7-Eleven on my way home, and I don't know why, but the handicap spot is in the middle of the parking lot. And like the other business is closed. You know that 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And like I pulled in and I'm just like, oh man, I'm in the handicaps. I'm just like, we should move this down.
Right.
To the door.
What are we doing? The traditional spot, man.
Exactly. Also, why there's so many of them.
I like when they have the handicap spot and you realize there's also the curb there.
Yeah.
There's no ramp, there's no dip. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can park it. We don't know how you're getting in. But
if you've got crutches or a cane, you can make it a wheelchair. You're hosed. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully, there's good news.
To Santa Clara, where a couple of rare occurrences have combined forces. A woman in the area is one of the rare cases in which she was born on Leap Day, February 29th. It's a 1 in some odd thousand chances that you're going to be born on that day. The other rare occurrence is that she's lived a long, healthy life and has just recently celebrated her 104th birthday. Living past 100 years old is also not exactly common around here. Her community celebrated with a typical manner by parading in front of her home, which every old person loves, and sending her happy birthday wishes her way. Just because I know some of you are thinking it, this is just the 26th time that she's been able to properly celebrate her birthday.
And it's only because she's lived that long.
She's 104 years old and she still can't vote for president. Men's Room IPA continued to
can't run for president.
That's right.
Right.
Votes, yes, you can. Okay. Men's Room IPA continues to spread about the Northwest. Some more good news. Albertsons on Canyon Road and 112th has the IPA, according to one of our texters. Not to mention, you can also see a full list of the locations that we're currently aware of on the Men's Room page of KISW.com. Men's Room Sports. Free agency is underway in the NFL, and in addition to the legal tampering that we've already heard about, the Seahawks have signed former Jaguars safety Rayshon Jenkins, as well as the tight end. It's correct in my grammar. It's like the Farrell Brown. No, tight end Farrell Brown, formerly of the New England Patriots, and they're bringing back offensive tackle George Fant. I'm stoked about that. I hope he's as good as I remember. Unfortunately, we did lose Bobby Wagner to free agency as he is signed with Washington. He's a commander now.
No.
He's going back and hanging with Dan Quinn and Ken Norton Jr. He's heading on the other side of the country.
Talk him into that.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
He's in his waning days.
I've been getting a lot of texts from buddies back home.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How good is he?
I know, like... Look, he lost maybe a step, but Bobby Wagner's still a very good NFL.
He's a genius on defense. I was to say, he might be one of the 3 smartest defenders on. Just having him out there to direct the players is going to make that.
I was about to say, on the field, in the locker room, he's a square player all day. Mariners were back in action against the Dodgers, and they came out ahead, winning that game 8-1.
Damn.
Way to go, boys. You've also got hockey on tonight over on TNT and True TV. College hoops on the alternative ESPN channel, CBS Sports and FS1, and NBA basketball over on ESPN. As far as your weather, clear skies remain throughout the night and into tomorrow, with temperatures hitting the mid-30s tonight and warming to mid-50s tomorrow.
Yeah. That is it with you,
for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Head Chef will be back tomorrow with Ted's Meat Potatoes doing the St. Patty's Day thing, and of course the game known as Big Dummy.
Yes, indeed, it's all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.